Oklahoma Memorial Stadium in Norman, the scene today of a very important game in the Big 8 Conference. The Colorado Buffaloes, defending co-national champions, in town to take on the Oklahoma Sooners. The Buffaloes already on the field with a record of 3-2, coached by Bill McCartney in his 10th year. And here come the Sooners. Oklahoma was undefeated until being beaten by Texas in the Cotton Bowl. Gary Gibbs in his 3rd season as the head coach of the Sooners. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Zabriskie, and along with 10-year NFL veteran John Spagnola, we welcome you to Game 2 of our ABC doubleheader, a game that'll go a long way to determine who wins the Big 8 Conference this season. Colorado, John, the defending co-national champions, and I guess because of the proliferation of seniors on a team that wins the title, the next year almost every team faces what they're looking at, and that's turnover of players.
That's right. Colorado lost 13 starters from last year's national championship team. 8 of those starters are from the offensive side of the ball. So if you're head coach Bill McCartney, the one guy you'd still like to have around is their quarterback, Darian Hagan. Everything that Colorado does offensively depends on Darian Hagan. The running game relies on his ability to make the correct read in the option package, but Darian Hagan will also play action pass off the option and roll out to throw the ball downfield. In order for Oklahoma to be successful this afternoon defensively, they must limit what Darian Hagan does in running the option.
Well, he will put pressure on their defense, but Oklahoma's offense will always also rather be under some pressure. They were going along quite well till they met up with the Texas defense last week, and they really, John, have a new look, and we're going to see a little bit of that today.
That's right. Although Oklahoma's offense was shut down in the second half against Texas last week, the objective this year is to create a more balanced attack. The running game is still the major component of the Oklahoma offense, but with Cale Gundy at quarterback, Oklahoma is throwing the ball with more regularity than ever before. 38% of the total offense comes from the pass, and as Cale Gundy, who is just a sophomore, matures, the passing game will become an even larger part of the Oklahoma overall offensive scheme.
Gundy did not have a good game against Texas last week, particularly when they were trying to come from behind. So pressure on both quarterbacks, pressure on both defenses, and it'll take good defense to win this one today. We'll be back with the opening kickoff from Norman, Oklahoma in just a minute.
You won't believe the shop vac. It comes with a surprise.
So where's the surprise?
In a minute. First, this baby picks up stuff like nails and glass, and like a regular shop vac, it also picks up water.
So where's the surprise?
Just watch. You twist the top, lift it off, and you've got a surprisingly powerful blowout.
And don't forget to get Steam Team, the attachment that turns any shop vac into a powerful carpet cleaner. If you own a house or carpet, you gotta own a shop vac.
Did you tell your boss you're quitting?
No, I'm telling him on Monday.
Got any plans yet?
Few?
No celebrity spokesman.
I'm opening a restaurant.
No beach volleyball games.
How about another Heineken?
No lengthy description of the brewing process. None of that is what made Heineken the #1 imported beer in America.
You got that steady paycheck? Oh, yeah. I got a few bucks put away.
So you want to own a restaurant?
No, what I really want to do is be a relief pitcher.
For centuries, mankind has looked to the heavens for the extraordinary. Starting November 1st, it can again, in the friendly skies. Introducing Connoisseur Class, only on United. A truly elevated form of international business class. Come fly the airline that's uniting the world. Come fly the friendly skies.
This man just finished an incredibly close and exceptionally comfortable shave with the Norelco razor. But to see how he got it, we have to go back to when he began to shave. Not just above the skin, but below it. Here, our patented lift and cut system lifts the hair so when it's cut, it can actually drop below skin level without the blades even touching your face. Try it, and you'll keep going back to Norelco for a perfect shave. Norelco, we make close comfortable.
ABC's College Football. Brought to you by Chevrolet, the heartbeat of America, the cars more people depend on. By the Die-Hard battery, now with more power when you need it most. And by UPS, now offering 10:30 a.m. guaranteed overnight air delivery.
Charles Johnson of Colorado took the opening kickoff and brought it out to about the 17, where it was knocked down by William Schenkel. Oklahoma had won the toss, but they chose to defer to the second half, and so Colorado took the opening kickoff. Oklahoma kicking off with the wind at its back. Then Darian Hagan will lead the offense up 1st and 10, Buffaloes at their own 17. Scott Phillips and Lamont Warren, a new backfield for Colorado. Phillips the fullback, Warren the tailback. And it's a delay to Lamont Warren. And Warren gets maybe 3 to the 20, and that's all.
Number 12, Lamont Warren.
Joe Bowden, number 45 on the tackle. There's Darian Hagan. What an exciting player he is. He is the perfect man to run that option attack of Colorado. Warren and Phillips the starting backfield. Henry, Johnson, and Embry are the receivers. Second down. Hagan keeping. First down. Run out of bounds on the far side by the free safety, Terry Ray. But Darian Hagan showing that great speed and picking up a first down for Colorado across the 30. It's a gain of 11. Here's the Oklahoma defensive unit, the front seven. Big, fast, and very mobile, especially those linebackers. The secondary has already picked off 16 interceptions this year. 1st and 10, Colorado at their own 31. Lamont Warren getting outside. Joe Bowden hitting him from behind. And Jason Belser, the strong safety, make the tackle, but it's enough for another Colorado first down.
Oklahoma last week against Texas did the very same thing, decided to kick off, and Texas didn't get a single first down. Now Colorado has 2 first downs on the strength of the running from Lamont Warren, who really wanted to run right side there, cut it back, and he's getting his first start today. He's really matured as a true freshman.
Gain of 12. And the ball just short of the 43. The fullback, Scott Phillips, and he maybe gets a yard. He is wrapped up by Ricky Bren, the nose guard.
In talking to Tom Hayes, who's the defensive coordinator for Oklahoma, he felt today in stopping the option for Colorado, he really had to focus on the first 2 parts of the option. That is the fullback handoff and then Darian Hagan's ability to run with the ball. So far, we've seen Hagan get a first down running, but they definitely were effective there in stopping the fullback run.
It's a gain of only 1 on Phillips' carry, so it's 2nd down and 9. First pass for Hagan, and he throws it behind the intended receiver, Rico Smith, number 86. So it'll bring up 3rd and 9.
Darian Hagan's a pretty accurate quarterback. I'm surprised he misfired there. He's rated 9th in the country in passing efficiency. A lot of people just look at him as a running quarterback, but he really can throw the ball. And the Oklahoma defense is concerned about his ability to throw the ball deep. He's very accurate throwing the ball way downfield.
See that Colorado has won 5 of their last 6 conference road openers. One of the things that makes Hagan's long passing so tough is that they have to respect the run.
Everything usually in the passing game works right off the option.
Preliminary movement along the line and flags fly, as Colorado was definitely in a passing formation on 3rd and 9. And we'll see whether Oklahoma jumped or whether they were pulled off by Colorado. Our referee is John Lurie.
No foul, no contact, replay the down.
Boy, oh boy. Now, once in a while, one flag will drop, and they'll say this, but there were 4 or 5 flags out here.
It sure like there had to be some contact there. Maybe they saw movement by the offensive line and movement by the defensive line and contact, so they just decided to run the play over. Yeah. You lose your confidence in a ref when you see that call early in the game.
There was definitely contact. Now, another flag is thrown on the far sideline before the snap once again. The head linesman making the call. And another conference. Here's John Lurie again.
Dead ball. Offense lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty.
Well, he just gave us the delay of game signal for lining up in the neutral zone. John Lurie, we've got to get on the same page here. It's been a rocky start so far today.
Well, it's going to make it 3rd down and 14 for Colorado as it moves the ball back inside their 39. No score. We're in the first quarter with 13:08 remaining. First possession of the game. Colorado moved to 2 quick first downs, but now it's 3rd and 14. Play action, screen, Lamont Warren to the 45, and that is all. Banged down by Joe Bowden, who leads the Sooner defense in tackles.
Joe Bowden is coming off back-to-back weeks in which he had 18 tackles. He read the screenplay perfectly there. You can see where Colorado wants to get the ball in Lamont Warren's hands as much as possible. They have a lot of confidence in their freshman.
Mitch Berger is the punter, number 17. He's averaged 42 yards a kick. And Otis Taylor, number 11, is back deep to receive, standing inside his 20 for Oklahoma. Not a very good kick. Taylor comes up, takes it at the 21. Breaking tackles and getting across the 30 to about the 31 before Greg Thomas, the starting free safety, number 27, brings him down. So Oklahoma will have pretty good field position at about their own 32.
Mitch Berger is averaging 40.1 net returns off 41.96 gross punting this year. That means that most teams only average 2 yards against him. He usually gets the ball high in the air with good hang time and relies on great coverage.
Here's the Oklahoma offense. Gaddis and McKinney in the backfield and the big guys up front. 1st and 10. Mike Gaddis, big hole. 1st down for the 44. Sophomore linebacker Ron Woolfolk making the stop for Colorado.
You can expect Mike Gaddis to be the workhorse this afternoon. He got off to a good start last week against Texas, and he's going to do it again today and carry the load.
Against this defense. And the question is, can Colorado stop the Oklahoma running attack? 12-yard gain and a 1st down just inside the Oklahoma 45. Gaddis again on the delay. Fumble. Looks like Colorado might have it. Nope. Oklahoma recovers. Greg Biekert made the hit for Colorado. It looked like Biekert might come up with the football, but he didn't.
Gaddis on a delay up the middle, carrying the ball a little bit outside. You know, you got to keep it up against your chest when you're running through the middle. He had 82 yards last week against Texas, and it seems to me that the Oklahoma offense wants to get his motor running early in the game today again.
Biekert actually knocked the ball right back to Gaddis, who was on the ground. 2nd down and about 6. And there's Gaddis again. Trying to get outside. He's hauled down by Chad Brown, who is the 2nd leading tackler for Colorado behind Biekert. Not quite enough for a 1st down. It'll be 3rd and about 1.
Mike Gaddis leads the team in rushing, and he's moved up to 19th on the career rushing list for Oklahoma this year with 1,700 yards. There's Cale Gundy, the young quarterback, just a sophomore. He has about a year of starts under his belt now, and they expect great things from him, and he really is revamping the Oklahoma offense.
Kenyon Rashid, the fullback, gets the 1st down and more as it gets down near the Colorado 40. In the grasp of Chad Brown and Ted Johnson. They'll mark it right on the 40, where it'll be 1st and 10 Sooners. Well, so far, each team doing pretty much what we expected, John, in the beginning, and that's try to pound and establish the running game.
Well, everything in their offense for both teams revolves around being able to run the option well and get the running game going well. So far, Oklahoma has been able to continue a drive, and I like the fact that they're getting the ball to the fullback.
Gundy's first pass over the middle, complete. Ted Long inside the 10. Ronnie Bradford knocked him down, but Long was able to hold on. It's 1st and goal, Oklahoma.
Ted Long, who had an outstanding game last week against Texas. He's the only guy who scored a touchdown last week for Oklahoma. Gets open. There's definitely a blown assignment, and if Gundy was able to get the ball farther downfield, we'd have a touchdown now by Ted Long.
It's a 33-yard gain, and the Sooners have it at the Colorado 7. Gaddis inside the 5 and down near the 2. Greg Thomas, the free safety, pushing him back.
Mike Gaddis running with a lot of power this afternoon, and when you can get the ball deep to a back like him where he can see the whole front in front of him, he'll make the cutback. That's what he did on that play. You get some good yardage.
Second down and goal, Oklahoma at the 2. Gundy trying to get the fans in the end zone to quiet down. Ted Long in motion, jumping preliminarily one of the linemen. I don't see a flag, however. Kenyon Rashid did not make it to the goal line, but he's very close.
Oklahoma's content to run the ball in the middle with Kenyon Rashid, who is a little bit disappointed this year. His number of carries is about half of what it was last year. He feels like he is contributing with blocking, but he'd like to carry the ball more, and like I said, that's a big part of the Oklahoma offense.
We'll check that average, 5.5 yards per carry. Rashid again, touchdown. Oklahoma scores first.
Kenyon Rashid just off the left side. A good block by number 64, Paul Moriarty, the left guard. That's just power wedge blocking by that offensive line to allow Kenyon Rashid's power to get him into the end zone.
Scott Blanton, a freshman, will do the extra point attempt. Out of the hole of punter Brad Riddell. It is good. 8:39 left to go in the first quarter. Oklahoma 7, Colorado nothing.
Last year, the average price of a car with standard anti-lock brakes was over $40,000. But today, all that's changed. Because we understand the real value of safety. We've put anti-lock brakes standard on more models than anyone. Even on our least expensive Cavalier. Chevrolet.
The heartbeat of America.
The cars more people depend on.
That's today's Chevrolet.
The American Society for Testing and Materials set a new technical standard for antifreeze used to protect heavy-duty truck engines against boiling, freeze-ups, and corrosion. Only one of the 3 best-selling antifreeze brands made for cars meets that standard. It's the patented car antifreeze that can also keep heavy-duty engines running at their peak. Protect your engine from freeze-ups and boilovers. Remember the heavy-duty standard. Don't stop short of the peak.
It's going to be a good week to keep in touch.
Remember the day at the ballpark when I hit the ball and ran and slid in the mud and I was thick mud?
You had a crush on my brother?
Well, she reminds me so much of you.
AT&T Reunion Week starts this Monday, and it's just 11 cents a minute for an out-of-state call. Anywhere in the U.S. from 5 to 11 p.m. So what are you waiting for?
Hey, all right.
Just 11 cents a minute to reach anyone, anywhere, all week.
Buffalo Monday night.
Oklahoma goes 68 yards in 8 plays to get on the board and lead 7-0 against Colorado here in the first quarter with 8:39 left to go in the quarter. Those Sooners will be kicking it off. The big play, John, that 33-yard pass to Ted Long.
Ted Long did that last week. It was an out and up last week. This week it was off of play action. He's really playing well. And in talking to Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator for Oklahoma, he told me that some of the pro scouts are starting to take a look at Ted Long. They like his quickness, they like his speed, and they like the way he can make tough catches. And he certainly made a tough catch there on that long game by Oklahoma.
He got blasted and held on. Brad Riddell to kick it off. Charles Johnson and Chris Hudson back. Hudson has it bounce off his chest. Inside the 5. Dropped at the 1. Tony Levy. Number 22 with coverage. Colorado at their own 1-yard line.
Well, that's just a disaster for Colorado. Almost a safety as Hudson tried to bow it back. You know, there's a little wind here today, and I think the ball went a little far up into Hudson's chest, and that's because the wind was behind the kick. And I think he may have misjudged that kick. I think it sailed a little bit.
Well, the Buffaloes are going to have to ram it out of there. It's actually inside the 1-yard line. Power I formation. Lamont Warren trying to find a hole, gets out to the 3. 3 or 4 red shirts on him there, including Stacy Dillard and Corey Mayfield.
One thing head coach Bill McCartney felt today is that offensively he couldn't grind meat in ball control. He's going to have to go for some big plays offensively. A little harder to do that when you're down inside your own 5-yard line. But I think if Colorado gets some breathing room here, they're going to try and open it up offensively.
2nd down and 7. Nowhere to go for Hagan. Reggie Barnes on the stop for Oklahoma along with Tippins. Let's get a report now from New York and Roger Twibell.
Thank you, Steve. Indiana at Michigan. 4th down play with about 4 minutes to go. Corey Taylor tries to bust it up the gut. As they went for the touchdown, they were down by 8 then, and it is now a final 24-16. Michigan wins it. Desmond Howard with 3 touchdown catches from Elvis Grbac. Let's go back to Steve.
Thank you, sir. Magic Man, much in evidence in Michigan's win today. A penalty flag was thrown on the play in which Hagan maybe gained a yard, and we've had a rather lengthy conference here. The officials have spent more time together in the first quarter here than they probably do off the field.
Well, they're getting to know one another.
In addition to those, John Lurie is the referee, and he marks it off, and it's going to be a 1st down. The penalty, a personal foul against Oklahoma, and it moves the ball out just almost to the 20. So Colorado, with the help of the penalty, gets out from their own goal line. Taking the option again. Cuts it upfield. Cut down beautifully. William Schenkel. Playing the run tough from his cornerback position.
Usually the linebackers are responsible for the quarterback. There's assignments to the fullback and the quarterback, and those assignments are usually shared by the defensive end or the linebackers. In that particular play, William Schenkel was rolled up as a cornerback. He was on the line of scrimmage. He was able to read the option. Now what Colorado may do is see that and try and fake the option and throw the ball downfield.
2nd down and 7. Lamont Warren nowhere to run. What a play by Stacy Dillard as he fought off the blocker, and while the guy was still on him, made the tackle.
Stacy Dillard, number 77, a big, tall defensive lineman, realizes that he has to play lower because of his height. He gets blown off the ball sometimes. He was a nose tackle last year, but he's really found his own at left tackle and is really playing well.
At 6'5", he's probably a little too tall for the nose guard position.
That's exactly right. A nose guard usually wants somebody in that 6'2" range that's strong and quick and can get very active with his hands.
Well, time called again by the official. Bill McCartney questioning John Lurie. It's 3rd down and 6.
Bill McCartney wants to create some indecision in that experienced secondary for Oklahoma today. Oklahoma's secondary has returning starters at every position, 2- and 3-year starters at every position in the secondary.
Play action. Hagan to throw. Wide open is Mark Henry. Inside the 20. Hauled down at about the 11. Terry Ray, the free safety, had to come all the way across the field to make the stop.
That's some of the indecision I mentioned, Steve. Mark Henry, who people call the second coming of Fred Biletnikoff because of his very disciplined routes and sure hands, just slips behind the defenders off of play action. He's able to get downfield and get behind the free safety, and there's a miscommunication there between the free safety and the cornerback on that play. Well, Mark Henry, take a look at him. He says, I even have the same receding hairline that Fred Biletnikoff had.
Well, Jason Belser, the strong safety, may have been the one to blow the assignment. Charles Franks released him, and there was nobody to pick him up. A 65-yard gain. 1st and 10 Colorado at the Oklahoma 11. Lamont Warren and Reggie Barnes crashing through. Hauls him down by the ankles for a gain of 1 to the 10. It'll be 2nd and 9. A reminder, next Saturday here on ABC at 3:30 Eastern and 2:30 Central, ABC Sports will bring you regional football coverage. Michigan State Spartans will take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Or you'll see UCLA face Arizona State, Mississippi State at Auburn, North Carolina State at Clemson, or a game from the WAC conference, depending on where you may be next Saturday. Scott Phillips, the fullback, tripped up as he gets down near the 6. Stacy Dillard got a big arm in there and knocked him down.
Scott Phillips was pressed into duty today as a starter because James Hill, the normal starting fullback for Colorado, got dinged this week, got hit in the head, and he had a little memory loss. And as a result of that, he didn't even make the trip this week. They didn't want to take any chances with James Hill. So Scott Phillips is getting his start in there, and he has some experience.
Colorado has asked for a timeout with 4:39 left to go in the first quarter. They're threatening, trailing by 7.
Sharp brings you the world of big events. The big bowl games, concerts, the championship games, the playoffs, title fights, hit movies. Big events the way they were meant to be seen. Big on Sharp Vision, the liquid crystal projection system with the 8-foot picture that makes you feel like you're there. Now, see the Holyfield Tyson fight on Sharp Vision. Come in for a demonstration, and you could win a trip to the fight. Buy Sharp Vision and get a $500 rebate. Sharp Vision. For information, call 1-800-B-SHARP.
There's a reason more people go to Sears for a new battery.
Can't believe I left my lights on.
Only Sears has the Die Hard. Sears is so confident of Die Hard starting power, if you need a jump, Sears will do it absolutely free. Anytime, anywhere, even if you leave your lights on.
I got stranded once. Never again.
Sears Die Hard. More power when you need it most.
Who's going to back you better than Sears?
There's a first time for everything. Your first love, first kiss, first date, first job, and your first new car. For more people, that first new car is Chevy Cavalier. A simple, solid value that'll get you through the changes until the next first time. The cars more people depend on.
That's today's Chevrolet.
Yes, the main quadrangle on the campus here at the University of Oklahoma. Flowers in bloom even in the fall. And a magnificent fall day here. Cold front going through here last night and knocking the temperature down. 3rd down and 5. Hagan looking in the end zone. Touchdown to the tight end, Sean Brown. Colorado drives 99 yards with the help of a penalty and a 65-yard pass play. And now with the extra point to come, they trail by just 1. A 6-yard touchdown pass from Darian Hagan to Sean Brown. Jim Harper on to attempt the extra point for the Buffalo. Shanked it badly. Mishit it badly. 4:33 to go in the first quarter. Oklahoma with a 1-point lead by virtue of the missed extra point, 7-6.
Every business morning, while the rest of the world is getting up, UPS is guaranteeing overnight delivery before 10:30 for far less than other companies charge. And every business morning, more people are waking up to that fact.
Good morning.
Morning.
Since we became employee-owned, I think there's a far greater commitment to providing good quality service.
Roving Rapid Return is really fast. I meet you at your car, push a couple of buttons, hand you a receipt, and you're out of there.
So why rent from anyone but an owner?
It took all day, but they finally came up with one very big idea. What do you bet they printed on a LaserJet from Hewlett-Packard? It's not easy being a truck.
Like a rock, I was strong as I could be. Like a rock, nothing ever got to me.
But through it all, Chevy full-size has the best resale value in the business. Chevy trucks.
Like a rock,
The trucks you can depend on. The trucks that last.
Head coach Bill McCartney felt like he had to get touchdowns today. Watch Sean Brown on the left side of your screen, number 87. As Darian Hagan rolls out, he throws the ball exactly where it has to be caught. Sean Brown was actually covered on that play. Darian Hagan has a lot of confidence in the strength of his arm, and he was able to throw the ball where it had to be in order to be completed.
This is WFTV Channel 9 Orlando.
By 1. Back deep to receive 11, Otis Taylor, and 20, Ernest Williams for the Sooners, as Mitch Berger will kick it off for Colorado.
At least that timeout was well worthwhile, though, Steve. I mean, in 3rd and 5, you call timeout, you want to get 6 points out of it, so it wasn't a wasted timeout in that sense.
Not at all. A 99-yard scoring drive as the wind blows the ball off the tee, and it may be that Berger wants to have somebody come hold it. No, I think he's going to try it again. Only 7 plays in that 99-yard drive. And, of course, when they were facing 3rd and 6, Oklahoma hit with a 15-yard penalty, personal foul, that kept the drive, followed by a 65-yard pass deep into Oklahoma territory. So an impressive drive by Colorado. Berger into the wind, line drives it. Otis Taylor from the 3. Trying to get outside. Finally run out of bounds by Greg Thomas. But a good return by Otis Taylor, and again Oklahoma will have decent field position outside of their own 25. As usual, we'll keep you up to date with scores from other games around the country, both those that have been completed and those in progress all afternoon. First and 10 Sooners. Just outside their own 27, Cale Gundy. And it looked like a busted play. Gundy being chased down. First hit by number 50, Tony Berti. And then Leonard Renfro, number 99, finished him off. And I think Gundy and his backs went opposite directions that time.
That's a quarterback's nightmare. When you turn right, everybody else is going left, and suddenly you're out in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes you see a big play, but I think Gundy hesitated a little too much there and just ducked around trying to get a few yards.
A reminder that at the conclusion of today's game, we'll be selecting a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game from each team. For the 21st year through the Chevrolet Scholarship Program, $1,000 will be donated to the General Scholarship Fund of each school in that player's name. Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Gundy to throw. Has time. Tipped. Almost intercepted. 2 Buffaloes had a chance. Deon Figures jumped up and touched the ball. He tipped it. He almost caught it. And Ted Johnson also had a chance, but neither could come up with it.
Ted Johnson really should have had that ball. That was a bootleg action that Cale Gundy was rolling around to the right side. He tried to get the ball to Joey Mickey, the big tight end, number 82, coming across the middle. a little indecision on his part. He's got to let that ball go with confidence. He tried to wait and then force it in there. It was just a crowd of Colorado Buffaloes waiting for the ball.
3rd down and 11, and Oklahoma really spreads it out. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Gundy under pressure. Now it is intercepted by Johnson. And Johnson hauled down at the 35 by Brian Broninger. Oklahoma's offensive tackle. But Gundy forced another one in there, and it was picked off by Ted Johnson, his 2nd interception of the year.
Ted Johnson made an interception last week with one hand against Missouri. He's getting his first start today. He's playing for John Knudsen. Number 46 on the left side of your screen drops back in his zone. Once again, I think Gundy is just trying to force the ball in there. The receiver was very well covered, not only from the linebackers, but from the secondary. And Johnson makes the interception this time.
Ted Johnson, a true freshman. So Colorado, 1st and 10 at the Oklahoma 35. Hagan throwing it out here. Here's Westbrook. They're going to throw back to Hagan, and they do. Hagan tips it, catches it. Darian Hagan with one man to beat, but he can't get by Joe Biden. Joe Bowden tripped him up inside the 10. Let's get an update from Roger Twibel.
Thank you very much, Steve. Georgia at Vanderbilt leading 17-13 in the 3rd. Marcus Wilson fumbles, but Corey Harris will pick it up, and watch him make something. (27-17). Vandy leads Georgia. Let's go back to Steve.
Joe Bowden saved the touchdown as Darian Hagan on the throwback almost took it into the end zone. And on 1st and goal.
All right, it's a lateral pass to the wide receiver on your left side. Look at number 81, Michael Westbrook. Now he can throw the ball. He has some stitches on his finger. They were concerned about running this play, but he gets the ball back to Darian Hagan. The one thing I'm worried about on this play is there were some offensive linemen way downfield. And I think you have a good case for a penalty about getting offensive linemen downfield on that play.
And because Hagan did catch that ball ahead of the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and goal, Colorado from the 5. The flip out to Lamont Warren. He's throwing a pass. Incomplete. This time, Michael Westbrook was the intended receiver. So it'll be 3rd and goal.
Head coach Bill McCartney felt that going into this game, he had to make a lot of big plays offensively. He didn't feel like he could just ball control drive down the field. And we're seeing real evidence of that feeling today. You see the flea flicker. Now we have the halfback option pass. Lamont Warren throws a nice ball, but this time the Oklahoma defense certainly covered the receiver on that play. Lamont Warren, though, is just a really talented player, and he wants to improve his strength running the ball, and he's been able to do that. He's starting to break tackles, but I didn't know he could throw the ball that well either.
He's also the leading rusher for Colorado. Hagan, touchdown! Held on to beautifully by Christian Foria, the tight end. Cornerback Darnell Walker was there, and he was all over Foria, but the big tight end holds on, and Colorado takes the lead.
Christian Foria is on the top of your screen on the right side. Actually, he's in the backfield in the eye-bone position. He just releases through. Usually, that type of position, you're going to just be a blocker in that position, but he releases and sneaks through the secondary. Does a real nice job holding on to the ball.
Jim Harper with the extra point for Colorado. This one is good. And with 2:12 remaining in the 1st quarter, the Buffalo taking advantage of the turnover following their 99-yard drive on their first score, have taken the lead 13-7.
How's that for successive plays, though? I mean, a lateral pass down the field from the wide receiver, a halfback option play, and then you slip the tight end into the backfield where normally he doesn't line up, and you sneak him through into the secondary off play action for a touchdown. We're seeing some really interesting offensive plays by Colorado this afternoon.
Darnell Walker, the cornerback of Oklahoma, actually tipped the ball. The pass intended for Foria, but somehow Foria was able to hold on.
There's number 83 on the right side in your backfield. Off the play action, he's able to get position downfield. I think the ball was tipped a little bit, Steve, but he really showed great concentration in holding on to the ball.
The interception by Ted Johnson, the freshman linebacker of Colorado, gave Colorado the ball at the Oklahoma 35, and they took it in 4 plays and 1 minute and 15 seconds to lead 13-7. Otis Taylor and Ernest Williams back, and Mitch Berger, the punter, will do the kicking off as usual. Very high short kick. Otis Taylor fumbles the ball. And it looks like Biekert may have fallen on it for Colorado. He does. Greg Biekert. And Colorado gets another break, getting the fumble near the 20.
Well, remember on the other kickoff when we saw Chris Hudson for Colorado fumble the ball because the ball was deep. This time the wind affects the ball and it's short on Otis Taylor. Consequently, he doesn't get up on the ball in time to make a good sound catch of the kickoff. And there's Greg Biekert who made the recovery. Colorado's in good field position again.
They mark it at the 19 of Oklahoma. So Darian Hagan and the boys are back to work. Hagan has completed 4 of 5 passes for 82 yards and a touchdown already. Westbrook on the end around. Breaks the tackle. Has a first down inside the 10. With us on the sidelines, former Oklahoma quarterback Dean Blevins. Dean.
Guys, the Colorado fans are into the game. All 3,000 bought a ticket. Bill McCartney struggled early. They were 1-10 in '84. Used to only bring about 100. But as you see, the folks are here and rowdy. Back to you.
Well, that's what winning will do for you. A few more people decide they're going to make the trip, and right now they're pretty happy. Because Colorado leads by 6, and they have the football, although there was a penalty on that play, inside the 20.
I don't think there was a penalty. I think they're just respotting the ball. It looks like they're spotting it about where the yard marker is. Well, look at Westbrook today. He's going to catch passes. He's going to throw passes. Now he's going to run a reverse. Very talented young player. And he's one of the few real true wide receivers that they've recruited in this Colorado offense.
Hagan waiting to pitch. Pitches it to Call. Kent Call. And Charles Franks runs him out of bounds on the near sideline around the 15. Short gain on the play. Kent Call had been the starting tailback. He's a redshirt freshman. But Lamont Warren had been so impressive that Warren got the start today.
2 really young, gifted running backs for Colorado. Ken Hall's a redshirt freshman. Lamont Warren is a true freshman. They're going to pick up the slack for Eric Bieniemy, who was drafted in the 2nd round last year by San Diego.
Hagan going the other way, looking to throw into the end zone. Touchdown, Westbrook. Michael Westbrook beat the strong safety Jason Belser. And Colorado has turned 2 turnovers into 2 quick touchdowns.
Well, Michael Westbrook has the trifecta today. He's thrown, he's caught, and he's run. He runs a corner pattern. Darian Hagan gets the ball way out in front of him, and he just beats number 29, Jason Belser. I'm surprised the strong safety is covering the wide receiver there, man-to-man.
The extra point is good. And within the space of just about 1 minute of time off the clock, Colorado has scored twice. They lead 20-7 with 1:35 to go in the first quarter. We'll take a timeout now to bring you a message about some upcoming shows here on ABC. Taylor, who along with Ernest Williams is back to receive yet another Colorado kickoff.
We'll see how the kickoff affects Otis Taylor this time. You know, there's not that much of a wind. It was only 11 miles an hour at game time. I'm surprised that there's been so many problems on the kickoff return.
Mitch Berger hits this one a little better, and Taylor lets it bounce and go out of the end zone. So the touchback will bring it out 1st and 10 Oklahoma at their own 20. That time, Colorado had to drive only 19 yards after Taylor had fumbled the previous kickoff, and they did it in 3 plays in 37 seconds.
Well, the turnovers for Oklahoma, the interception and the fumbled kickoff, certainly hurt them so far. And, you know, Oklahoma, I don't think is comfortable in a come-from-behind type situation with their offense. Yes, they throw the ball more, but they don't have the kind of confidence that they really need to get that far behind and throw it.
And Gundy has not been throwing well. Mike Gaddis tripped up as he crossed the line of scrimmage, falls forward for a couple. Chad Brown on the stop for Colorado. It'll be second down and about 8.
3-yard pickup on the play will be second down 7.
Gundy really struggled, John, last week in the 4th quarter against Texas, and here he's had a very tough first quarter throwing the ball as well.
Well, last week it was a different situation. He had to throw the ball when it was an untenable situation. He was behind at the end of the game and throwing into the strength of Texas's defensive strength, which is their defensive line in the secondary.
Gaddis again. Across the 25, and that's all as he's pushed back. Greg Piekert, the leading tackler, and Chad Brown stopping him.
But at least this week he has 3 quarters, so he doesn't have to throw the ball on every play. There's certainly an awful lot of time for Cale Gundy. Mike Gaddis in the backfield. He's coming off that knee surgery of 2 years ago, and 2 years ago when he had his knee hurt, he was the second leading rusher in college football, averaging 165 yards a game after 5.5 games.
He's out of there now. Mike McKinley in at quarterback. Ernest Williams, the tailback, and Williams has it. He's dropped for a loss. Eric Hamilton, the strong safety, in there in a hurry to bring Williams down, and that's the way you play the option.
That's exactly right. The schemes really aren't that different for both defenses. I mean, they're going to use the linebackers against the quarterback and the fullback and use the secondary against the pitch man. And in this case, Eric Hamilton was in the right position and he played the pitch extremely well.
Looks as if Oklahoma has called a timeout with just 7 seconds to go in the quarter. They want to punt this ball with the wind at their back. So they used the timeout to stop the clock and to give them the opportunity to get the punt away with the wind at their back before the time in the quarter ran out.
That's not a bad idea. 7 seconds left. Certainly you're going to gain at least 10, maybe 20 yards in field position as opposed to punting into the wind. So I don't have any problems with that.
And Brad Riddell has been a very good punter, while the field goal kicking of Oklahoma has left a little to be desired. Riddell has averaged over 42.5 yards per punt.
There's certainly a defensive slant for the way that Oklahoma thinks, though. They kicked off when they won the coin toss to start the game. Now they're taking a timeout. They really like to play the field position game, but, you know, they're behind 13 points, and they aren't going to be able to do that all game.
Darian Hagan back deep, and it is not a real good kick by Riddell. Hagan runs up, takes it on the 39. Flag down, and Hagan's out of bounds near the Oklahoma 45.
Darian Hagan on the return, knocked out of bounds near the 48-yard line.
So John Laurie, our referee, and his crew have been quite busy today. Chris Melson ran him out of bounds, and there's a clip against Colorado. The clip is back at the Colorado 37. So Bill McCartney sees a pretty good return by Hagan negated. Colorado will lose their field position. That's the end of the first quarter. Colorado up by 13 over Oklahoma. There's Gary Gibbs, the head coach of Oklahoma, who is really under some pressure. He's lost to Texas all 3 of his first 3 years. He's in danger of losing to Colorado all 3 of his first 3 years. And other than Nebraska, if you're the head coach at Oklahoma, you have to win those games. And Gary Gibbs down here by 13. Now here's an unusual situation. The quarter apparently cannot end on this penalty. So Colorado has got to run this play still down at this end of the field as Hagan runs the option out to about the 24 where Chris Wilson knocks him down. And now they are going to change ends. During the break, both teams of players walked from one end of the field to the other twice because there was a great deal of confusion about whether or not the quarter had officially ended.
That's the first time you ever seen 2 teams take part in cardiovascular conditioning between the quarters.
Yeah, just what they need. It's a good thing it's not 90 degrees today. They go up and down the field enough.
You know, getting back to Gary Gibbs, Steve, other than Nebraska, no other team has beaten Oklahoma 3 times in a row since 1927, and that was Kansas State. And he felt that this year he would certainly get back into the Big 8 and feel a lot better about the Big 8 conference after losing to Texas last week. It really was important for him to get back in the Big 8 schedule and do well. So far, it hasn't gone his way today.
Benefit the Norman community.
No, and you can tell by those 3 touchdown passes by Darian Hagan. 2 of them coming after Oklahoma turnovers, and the other one a 99-yard drive by the Buffaloes, starting at their own 1. Now we've got things squared away. The ball is at the right end of the field. It's at the 24 of Colorado, and the Buffaloes have it 2nd down and about 8 yards to go.
From the 24-yard line.
Hagan looking to throw a quick in, and it's complete to Sean Brown, the tight end, at the 30. Knocked down right away by a strong safety, Jason Belser.
He was hit.
Let's go back down on the sideline to Dean Blevins.
Hagan, clearly the story. He's an incredible story. He hurts a knee in the Orange Bowl, hurts a hamstring earlier in the year, has a bad ankle. He returns punts. Clearly the player injury update in front of me here. Mark Henry, wide receiver, is out for the game, has a hurt knee. Oklahoma nose guard Corey Mayfield, an ankle he will try later. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Dean. It's 3rd down and about 2. Hagan looking for the option, and he is well covered. Almost right at the line of scrimmage. Terry Ray, the free safety, and Joe Bowden surrounded.
I love the way he pops up and hits everybody. It says hi to everybody after he gets tackled. Darian Hagan's absolutely fearless. In the option game, he's going to get hit all the time. Whether he pitches the ball or runs the ball, he's always going to get hit. But he pops up and just has a way of deflating the defenders by saying, hey, good hit, good job, try it again next time. By the way, I think Mark Henry probably hurt his knee on that long reception.
Yeah, he came up limping. Mitch Berger's punt, and Otis Taylor with a fair catch at the Oklahoma 34. Berger punting with the win. 13:42 to go in the 2nd quarter. Colorado leading 20-7. Hagan and Phillips on the sideline. They just had a little chat with one of their offensive coaches, and their offense has been doing just fine, thank you. They lead 20-7. Oklahoma has it 1st and 10 at their own 34. Mike Gaddis dragging a Colorado defender with him across the 40. Greg Biekert, one of those going for a short ride. And a good 1st down game. Here's the stats of the 1st quarter.
Colorado's having their way offensively, really passing the ball with 125 yards. Oklahoma, you know, we talked about their balanced attack at the beginning of the show. It's balanced, but the numbers aren't nearly as high as they'd like to be.
Big plays, and of course the 2 big Oklahoma turnovers are really the difference in the game. 13 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. On 2nd down, Gaddis again tried to hurdle the pile and appears to have picked up enough for the 1st down, as it was 2nd and 1. Leonard Renfro leading the defense for Colorado. Nebraska getting beaten today.
Boy, if they'd announced that score at this stadium, you'll hear a real reaction from the fans.
Baby.
Everybody would
Look at this. Vanderbilt's leading Georgia. Gaddis now has carried 8 times for 45 yards. Oklahoma on 1st down. Gundy, the option pass. Called down from behind. Jeff Bruner, the nose tackle, breaking through to sack Gundy before he could get it away.
Down by number 39, Jeff Bruner.
Yeah, Cale Gundy had a play here. There was a rolled-up coverage on the right side. I don't know if we'll see it or not, but off the option fake, nose guard just slips through the center, Randy Wallace. But Gundy really had an opportunity to get the ball down the sideline to his wide receiver. It's just a blown assignment in the offensive line.
Well, penalty flags fly before really the snap. Well, no play, as it was 2nd down and 14. The officials stopped it. And we'll hear from John Laurie again.
Dead ball, illegal procedure, offense.
You'd think if they could you know, send people to the moon and all the technology we have, they could get a referee's mic that didn't feed back on him in a stadium like they all seem to do. Now the penalty moves them back even farther to where it's 2nd down and 19. Oklahoma at their own 38. Play action, and he has time. Completes it with the tight end, number 82, Joey Mickey, and John Knutson, a freshman linebacker, bumps him out of bounds. So they get a little bit of it back.
Joey Mickey, 6'5", 269, a really big target as a tight end, and off the play action, it's a good idea to get the tight end across the middle and get the ball off to him. Joey Mickey has said that he loves to get the ball in the open field because he can see defensive backs' eyes just get bigger and bigger as he gets a head start running. I wouldn't want to tackle him.
Man, he's a load. 3rd and 11. Oklahoma at their own 46. Fake to Gaddis. Ready to throw again. Completing to Ted Long, who slips the tackle. Short of the 1st down and still fighting for yardage. Eric Hamilton, the strong safety, with a good tackle. But then Long wouldn't give up. He does appear to be short of the 1st down. And the Oklahoma crowd a little upset.
Greg Thomas, the co-captain for Colorado, thinks he has fumble recovery there. Off the play action, there's sort of a short and long here. Ted Long is short, and there's another receiver deep, number 3. Yeah, he does cough the ball up a little bit. I don't know if it winds up on the ground or not. It's really hard to tell from this angle.
Well, it brings up 4th down and about 2 yards to go, and Oklahoma, with the ball at the Colorado 45, is going for it. Gaddis has the 1st down. Greg Thomas, a free safety, stopping him, but not before Gaddis got it down to the 41 of Colorado. 1st and 10, Oklahoma.
One of the criticisms of head coach Gary Gibbs, fairly or unfairly, has been that he's playing not to lose, particularly last week against Texas. I think he realized on that 4th and 2 call that he had to get something going. The fans certainly responded to that 1st down on the 4th down call. Gutsy call by the head coach.
Penalty flags again before the play can get underway. Oklahoma may have been guilty of illegal procedure one more time.
Dead ball. Illegal procedures. Offense, 5 yards. 1st down.
Well, Steve, you could have been a referee.
Well, there are a lot of people who think I should have been something else. Monday Night Football here on ABC. Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills will be hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. They've been somewhat of a surprise. The Bills with the AFC's best record. They're 6-1 this year. Boomer Esiason and the Bengals still trying to get on track. Monday Night Football here on ABC Live, 9 Eastern Time. Oklahoma now, 1st down and 15. Another play action. Gundy to pass. And he completes it. Ricky Brady finally pushed back and out of bounds at the 40 of Colorado. Eric Hamilton, the strong safety, again on the stop.
I think Ted Long, you have to credit with an assist on that tackle. He was trying to help out Ricky Brady. And he actually he tried to throw a peel back block. Watch Ted Long, number 3. Ricky Brady's made the catch. He wants to get involved. He's a hustling player, good blocker, but he realizes Brady's cutting in while he's trying to set up the block. You know, as a receiver, most of the time, you're always better off throwing the block downfield as opposed to cutting back and trying to get somebody. You get a bigger hit when you can peel off and nail somebody, but a lot of times you get called for a clip where you make the tackle, as Ted Long did there.
Yeah, you don't want it to be your own guy. 2nd and long. Gundy chased out of the pocket. Trying to run for it. Dives forward to about the 32. He'll be a couple of yards short of the 1st down. Eric Hamilton and Leonard Renfro on the stop.
Jeff Bruner made good penetration. Watch the nose tackle. Just works his way past the center. It looks like there was really a stunt in conjunction with the linebacker. Nevertheless, Bruner really gets upfield fast and forces Gundy to run, and Gundy to get a nice job getting positive yards there. You see a little confusion on Oklahoma with substitutions. They had problems last week getting players in and out, and they had to call some timeouts against Texas.
Third down and about 2 yards to go. Rashid banging through. Down to the 25. First down, Oklahoma. Chad Brown and Ronnie Bradford made the stop, and they paid for it, as Rashid's only 5'10", but he weighs 230.
He's alone, and Oklahoma resorting to what they like to do. They had a 4th and 2, and they powered it up the middle with the tailback. Now they had a 3rd and 2, and they did the same thing with the fullback.
Boy, he leaves some guys in his wake on this one.
Rashid makes a nice cutback and really runs right through John Knutson, number 36. Chad Brown, number 34, finally has to make the stop. That time, Randy Wallace did a good job blocking Jeff Bruner, the nose tackle.
Mike Gaddis on first down, picking a hole. And picking up about 4 down to the 21, Greg Beaker making the stop.
You know, I'm curious why Jeff Bruner's playing so much at nose tackle. Joel Steed is an All-American candidate this year, and it's really a fine nose tackle. He has a little problem. He broke his hand earlier this year, but I'm surprised we haven't seen more of him playing today. Maybe Dean could find out if there's an injury with him.
He has not been on the field that much, that's for sure. And Jeff Bruner, only a sophomore.
Well, he's in now. Joel Steed just checked back in. I guess he heard me.
Ready to throw, completing it to Chris Melson. Nelson going to his knees immediately. Very close, but it appears to be short of the first down marker.
This is what Gundy does well. 3-step drop. He knows where he wants to get the football. He fires it out there. Chris Melson makes sure of the catch, but as a result, he winds up just short of the first down. And you know, in college football, as soon as your knee touch, that's where the play ends.
So it's at the Colorado 25. The Buffaloes are leading the Sooners 20-7. We're in the second quarter. It's 3rd down and 1. Rashid. Oklahoma just wants to get that first down, and Kenyon Rashid gets it. Let's go down and get a report from Dean Blevins.
Well, guys, just brought it down here. Scott Blanton gets ready to go onto the field. He's a true freshman kicker that has struggled. Only 3 of 8 from field goal range. Oklahoma only 3 of 11 his score. Behind me later on that story. Let's go back to the field.
All right, thanks, Dean. Preparation so important for the kicker. Oklahoma with the 13th play of the drive. 1st and 10 from the 13 of Colorado. Mike Gaddis banging straight ahead inside the 10. Greg Beaker again on the stop, along with Joel Steed, nose guard 93.
In order to keep this drive alive, Oklahoma had to convert a 4th down play and 2 3rd down plays. Now they're in the 15th play in this drive. That's the kind of offense they like to run.
And they have mixed it up in this drive with a little bit of passing, but primarily the running game.
But safe passes. Short drops by Cale Gundy. That allows him to build his confidence as the game goes on.
2nd down and 6. And preliminary movement again along the line of scrimmage. Got about 4 hankies out.
Dead ball. Offside. Defense.
I think the reason the defense jumped off sides is because the motion in the backfield. Watch Ted Long, number 3, move. Now it looks like they moved before he moved. Sometimes that motion in the backfield will affect defensive linemen.
Joel Steed trying to quickly get through the gap, and he did.
A little bit illegally there, Joel.
Before the snap.
You know what? Maybe Cale Gundy just changed up his count there.
Could be. But it gives Oklahoma the ball just inside the 5, and it is 2nd down and 1 yard to go. Rashid banging for the first down near the 3. Leonard Renfro on the stop for Colorado.
You know, I would have liked to have seen a play action in 2nd and short there, because they have been able to convert the 3rd and shorts and the 4th and shorts. And I just think it was a good opportunity to play action, try and get the ball to the wide receivers on the slant in. or to Joey Mickey, who I saw them trying to work with the other day inside the 5-yard line.
Well, it's again, one of the things that Gary Gibbs has been criticized for has been his very conservative play call. There was a chance for him to pull out the stops a little bit, try for the touchdown off the play action.
It's odd that he's being criticized for that because he's passing the football more this year.
True.
But I think the people that are critical of him are just fans of Oklahoma who, you know, they're the kind of people who cheer to go for it when it's 4th and 10 and their jobs aren't on the line either.
Well, it's as we spoke of earlier, it's the yeah but syndrome. You know, yeah, but did you beat Texas? Yeah, but did you beat Colorado? Yeah, but did you beat Nebraska? And that's been Gary Gibbs' problem. Until he can do that consistently, he's going to be criticized. Gaddis walks in for a touchdown.
Watch the right side of the offensive line. Number 70, Brandon Houston and Jeff Ressler blocked down. The tight end blocks out. Joey Mickey, number 82. And there's just a wide open hole there for Mike Gaddis.
Scott Blanton on to attempt the extra point. And it is good. So Oklahoma comes back. 5:26 to go in the first half. It is now Colorado 20. Oklahoma 14. Check out the SAT scores among college football players across the nation. 53% of them between 751 and 1,000, and 26% over 1,000. Oklahoma with an impressive drive of their own. Charles Johnson and Chris Hudson back to receive the kickoff. It's short into the wind, and it's taken by Senna, the fullback, Tony Senna. He's still going. He runs like a fullback. Getting it out to about the 27-yard line. Oklahoma scoring on a 66-yard drive. 15 plays, and they ate up 8 minutes and 16 seconds of the clock. And it was actually Gaddis who took it in on a 2-yard run, not Rashid. And we'll look at it one more time.
From the defensive side of the ball, down blocking by the right tackle and the right guard, and Joey Mickey, the tight end, kicked out, and Gaddis had a wide open play.
Flags fly, and Lamont Warren goes down. Reggie Barnes with that great penetration right there in the Colorado backfield, but there are penalty flags on the turf. Illegal motion against Colorado, and we'll see what Oklahoma does.
Illegal motion. Offense. Penalty decline. Second down.
I kind of thought that might be the case with the loss on the play, a significant one. Oklahoma electing to decline the penalty. 5:17 to go in the first half. And the officials now, John Laurie asked for a timeout again. Look at this one. Washington, California tied in their big game in the Pac-10. Texas A&M's all over Baylor.
They only lost to Rice last week, and it looks like they haven't recovered.
Syracuse beat Pittsburgh. Second down, 15. Hagan on the option, trying to cut it back. Fumbles the ball. Oklahoma has it. Stacy Dillard forced a fumble, and Reggie Barnes appeared to come up with the ball. Oklahoma finally gets a break of their own.
Watch Reggie Barnes, number 40, trailing the play on the backside. Darian Hagan cuts it up. For what reason, I don't know. But number 40, Reggie Barnes, was alert enough to pick the ball up. And I've seen a few oranges splattered on the field now.
Well, the winner of this game will have a leg up on the Orange Bowl. Nebraska, of course, will have something to say about it. 1st and 10, Oklahoma. Colorado 24. Mike McKinley in at fullback. Gets a yard or two is all before he's thrown back.
Oklahoma's gone back to the power game, to the fullback, and this is their bread and butter offense. This is the thing they're most comfortable with. Even though last week Mike McKinley fumbled the ball against Texas, and it resulted in the winning touchdown for Texas.
A moment ago, you saw Marshall leading North Carolina State in the fourth quarter. So we're seeing a few upsets in the making today. Second down. Gundy with a good play-action fake, but he can't get rid of the ball. He was corralled out there by Ron Wolford, and then Ted Johnson made the stop. Gundy picked up a yard or two is all down near the 21, where it'll be third down.
Well, the play action fooled everybody but number 2, Dion Figures, the cornerback. It was very tight coverage on Ted Long. Play action really fooled everybody. The linebackers were fooled, but there's one guy they were trying to get the ball to, and that was Ted Long on the outside.
So it's third down and 7. Gundy looking to throw again. Incomplete, intended for Long. The pass thrown a little behind him.
Gundy was laid out by number 56, Ron Wolford, too. Colorado blitzed on that play. Gundy had to get rid of the ball a little sooner than he wanted to.
So on fourth down, Scott Blanton, who has only made 3 of 8 field goal attempts, and his longest has only been 32 yards, will attempt this one of 39 yards. And it is good.
He likes those home goalposts.
Blanton missed 3 field goals in the Texas game last week. That is his career longest. And it makes it 20-17 Colorado. Perhaps a bit more scoring here in the first half than a lot of people thought with the 2 defenses these teams had. As it is a 3-point Colorado lead. Turnovers have figured big. Brad Riddell set to kick off for Oklahoma. 9, Charles Johnson. And 47, Chris Hudson. Back inside their 10 for Colorado. A high and short kick. Hudson. Out across the 35 before he's knocked down by Chris Melson and Tony Levy.
We asked Gary Gibbs about Scott Blanton, who lost some confidence last week about kicking the ball against Texas.
Well, again, we got all the confidence in the world in Scott. It was a tough day for Scott. Obviously, the width of the goalpost has had an effect on all kickers throughout the country, and obviously it's had an effect on our kicking game. And last week that was a great example. But we've got confidence in Scott, and he's a good kicker, and he'll get the ball to the uprights.
I think Scott's got a little confidence back, too. Lamont Warren, the ball carrier for Colorado, with short yardage on first down. Ricky Wren on the stop for Oklahoma.
You know, it does help to kick at home now. He practices here. He's used to kicking here. The Cotton Bowl last week is just a little strange environment for him. He only got to work out there in pregame. And, boy, he just barely missed those 2 field goals, his first 2 last week. So this week, just that little comfort zone that he has from being at home may be the difference between making it and missing it.
Of course, he just kicked his longest career field goal, and that's got to boost his confidence as well.
Into the wind.
Colorado's second down at their own 38. Lamont Warren again in a good hole. But that Oklahoma defense, the great team speed, closing quickly. Joe Bowden in particular, preventing Warren from getting the first down. He's out to the 45. Now here's a correction on the score. Marshall is leading North Carolina State, but it is 14-9 in the fourth quarter. 11th ranked North Carolina State.
Wow. Well, the Wolfpack might be looking ahead to their showdown with Clemson in the ACC, overlooking Marshall a little bit. Hey, Joe Bowden is just all over the place this afternoon, though. I mean, on that particular play, Warren wanted to make a move downfield, and he didn't even see Bowden. Bowden ran him down.
3rd and 1. Lamont Warren again banging ahead for the first down. Chris Wilson covering him along with Terry Ray, the free safety, but it is enough for a Colorado first down at the Colorado 49. Second quarter has been Oklahoma's quarter. This season, the Sooners have outscored their opponents 80-11. And they have scored 10 points here in the second quarter to none for Colorado, as the Buffaloes got all their points in the first quarter. They lead, however, does Colorado 20-17. 1st and 10. Warren again. Trying to pick his way through. Proctor lands. And stop. Let's go down once again for an update. Dean Blevins.
Guy Scott Blanton was the top kicker in high school in America by some people last year. I talked to him after he made his extra point and after he tried the field goal, said the hip flexor was killing him. I'm sure he feels better after making it. And I have an orange in my hand. Haven't seen those on Owen Field in a while. Oklahoma on NCAA probation. This game could very well give the team that wins the inside track to the Orange Bowl.
We're glad that you're getting some lunch down there anyway, Dean. That's 2nd down. Hagan to throw. Up and out to Michael Westbrook, who breaks away. Finally tripped up by Reggie Barnes at the 37. Charles Franks also on the coverage.
Michael Westbrook is just an extraordinary athlete. We've already seen him run and pass, do everything else today, and he almost breaks the tackle here. Off a little counter action, Darian Hagan looks downfield. He's got that strong arm, and he guns it out to Westbrook. But look at Westbrook. Just keep his balance, get some more yardage out of the play. He's a big game wide receiver in the mold of Michael Pritchard, who was drafted last year, graduated from Colorado.
Timeout called on the field. Colorado asking for a timeout with a 1st down at the Oklahoma 36. And as you see, just 56 seconds remaining in the first half of play. Well, tonight on ABC, after all new episodes of Who's the Boss and Growing Pains, it's Madonna in the network television premiere of Who's That Girl, an ABC movie special presentation tonight here on ABC. Colorado trying to make the most of the last 56 seconds here, John, and they're 36 yards away. A field goal gives them a tie at halftime, but I'm sure they'd prefer to try to get it in there for 6.
Oh, I think they would. They have Jim Harper, who has a pretty strong leg. He's kicked 1 for 1 outside of 50 this year, and he's made his 1 field goal inside of 50, between 40 and 50. But like I said, Bill McCartney really wants to get 7. He just feels that there's too much overall power in Oklahoma. So I'm sure that he's got some sort of plays designed, first of all, to get within field goal position and then take some shots at the end zone and try and score 7 points.
You see Hagan is producing 43% of Colorado's offense this year, even more than last year. Of course, they had Eric Ganemy last year, who produced a little on his own.
In 1989, he was only the 6th player in NCAA history to rush and pass for over 1,000 yards.
Hagan looking to throw here, running away from pressure, looking to throw back, and he does. Incomplete, intended for Lamont Warren, but Lamont Warren couldn't break free. Joe Bowden was blitzing and had pressure on Hagan. Hagan now has completed 7 of 9 for 115 yards and 3 touchdowns here in the first half.
And Chris Wilson, number 30, did an outstanding job of holding Lamont Warren up so he couldn't release downfield. With that kind of action, Darian Hagan wanted to get all the focus on the right side of the football field and slip his tailback down the left sidelines, but Chris Wilson would have nothing of that.
2nd down and 10. Still at the Oklahoma 36, a fake delay. Hagan to throw again, chased by Reggie Barnes, but he gets it away, and it's complete. Scott Phillips, the fullback, is inside the 15 before Darnell Walker and Charles Franks bring him down. A gain of 21. And a huge play for Colorado with 40 seconds left to go in the first half. They mark it right at the 15.
Watch the fullback on the left side of your screen, Scott Phillips. He just releases downfield. Joey Bowden, number 45, hits him, but then Phillips keeps going downfield, and the speed of Darian Hagan really made that play work.
Hagan now grounding the football to stop the clock with 36 seconds left to go. And a reminder that coming up at halftime here on ABC, Roger and Bo will run down the top 25 for you on the Prudential Halftime Report. They'll bring you also the latest in college football news and highlights, plus coverage of the marching bands here from both Oklahoma and Colorado. The pride of Oklahoma marching band, entertaining pregame. That's the Prudential Halftime Report. Moments away. 2nd down and 10. Hagan completing it to Westbrook, short of the first down. Going to bring up 3rd down and about 3, and they'll go without a huddle. Clock running with 20 seconds left in the half. Hagan calling the play from the line of scrimmage. Phillips, the fullback, touchdown. They win with the simplest play of all, a 7-yard run by Scott Phillips, who is somewhat of a surprise starter for the injured James Hill. And with 9 seconds to go in the half, Colorado extending their lead.
Scott Phillips, a big part of this drive for Colorado. And I'll tell you, third down, I don't think anybody expected a running play. I expected a timeout and a passing play.
Jim Harper makes the extra point for the Buffalo. And they now have a 10-point lead on Oklahoma. It's Colorado 27, Oklahoma 17 with just seconds remaining in the first half. That was an impressive drive as well.
I think Colorado caught Oklahoma off guard there. I think Oklahoma was trying to defend everything but a fullback dive up the middle, and they ran the ball behind their only experienced off-center. Watch number 52, Jay Lewinberg, with a good block on number 30 by the guard. That's Chris Wilson getting blocked there, and Scott Phillips just does a great job reading the hole and getting into the end zone.
Lewinberg has been playing with a broken right hand. Let's go down to Dean Blevins again.
Guys, Darian Hagan and the Buffaloes have been incredible the last 3 years in 2-minute situations. They were 9 for 9 in 1989, 9 of 13 in 1990. Now they are 3 of 4. Hagan and his offense continue to make big plays.
You got that right, Dean. That was a 64-yard drive, and they ate up most of the final 3 minutes of this half in doing it. 10 plays, 64 yards with Scott Phillips scoring on the 7-yard run.
And you have that leadership that Darian Hagan provides at the quarterback position. The whole offense just has confidence knowing they're going to get the ball in the end zone. That was quite evident. There was no panic on Colorado's offense there, and they're able to just run a dive play inside and score with 9 seconds left.
Now Mitch Berger will kick it off. Otis Taylor and Ernest Williams back deep, and with the wind and Berger's strong leg, he boots it out of the end zone. So no time runs off the clock. Oklahoma will have 9 seconds. 1st and 10 at their own 20, and I doubt they'll do a whole lot with it. Once again, down to Dean Blevins. Who's that? The Boz.
Yeah, the Boz on hand. We'll have a chance to visit with him in a few minutes. He, of course, is promoting his movie release, which is going to home video, Stone Cold. And the Boz, we'll see how he was received here at Owen Field a little bit later.
Well, there are actually 2 people. There's Brian Bosworth, and then there's the Boz.
That's right. I played with Brian Bosworth at Seattle.
Cale Gundy just going to one knee, and they will let the time run out here in the first half. Oklahoma fans a little disgruntled, but the Colorado Buffaloes taking advantage of turnovers at halftime lead Oklahoma 27-17. Roger and Bo run down the top 25 on the Prudential halftime report after this.
ABC's College Football. Brought to you by Chevy Trucks. The trucks you can depend on. The trucks that last. And by the United States Postal Service. We deliver for you.
Away from the second half kickoff here in Norman, Colorado leading Oklahoma 27-17. Here are the first half stats. And look at the time of possession. Oklahoma, by virtue of that 8-minute drive in the second quarter, actually had the ball longer than Colorado, but Colorado has done more with it than they've had.
Well, the other factor right up from that is the turnovers and total yards. Colorado has over 100 more total yards, so I'll take total yards over time of possession any day.
That's right. And total points, I think, would also be the other important statistic.
That's right. I overlooked that.
Those 2 big Oklahoma turnovers that Colorado was able to convert into touchdowns, the difference in the game. Otis Taylor and Ernest Williams back for the Sooners, who deferred after winning the toss, so they get the ball to start the second half. Mitch Berger will kick it off. And again, the wind blows the ball off the tee, as it did in the first quarter. And this will be a crucial series right here, John, for the Oklahoma offense.
I think so. They want to get the ball to start the second half. They kicked off early to start the game. they can get a drive here and get some points, field goal or touchdown, or even put Colorado deep in their own end. That's what they want to accomplish, getting the ball to start the second half.
Berger with the wind at his back kicks it about 5 yards deep in the end zone. Otis Taylor will not run it out. So as soon as they start from their own 20.
20-yard line.
Another part of the first half that we didn't really allude to, and the statistics will point out, was it was somewhat penalty barred. It was not smoothly and well played. A lot of flags flying, a lot of illegal procedure. And you have to wonder what an effect the crowd might have, especially with Oklahoma if they get back in. The crowd really gets loud.
Well, whatever team wins this game is in the driver's seat to win the Big 8 this year, at least until they play Nebraska. And I think they're a little jumpy on both sides of the ball.
Gundy to pass on first down, almost picked off. Deon Figures diving and sticking a hand out.
That was the play we saw earlier in the first half when Jeff Bruner ran down Cale Gundy. Oklahoma thought they could run it again. This time the protection is good up front. Gundy tries to slip the ball down the sideline with that corner up, but the safety comes over to knock the ball out, and the corner makes a great play.
So it's second down and 10. Oklahoma still at their own 20.
See, if they hit that pass, they get the corner off the line of scrimmage, and he can't force the option as well.
Gundy to throw again, only it's a sprint draw to Gaddis. And Mike Gaddis gets across the 25 to about the 27 in the grasp of Ted Johnson, who played a pretty strong first half for Colorado. And Gaddis, limping a little bit, will leave the game.
Number 46, Ted Johnson. Third down, 4.
Will be replaced by number 20, Ernest Williams.
Gaddis had knee surgery a couple of years ago. They had to reconstruct his knee. I think he hurt his ankle on that play. It seemed like his knee was okay, and that he was favoring his other foot, his right foot.
Williams now at tailback, third down and 4. Gundy to throw again. Nobody open. And Gundy runs for the first down as he gets it to the 31. Chad Brown and Ronnie Bradford bring him down.
30-yard line.
That's where you have maturity in a quarterback. Gundy is now starting for a year. If he stays healthy, he'll probably break all of the Oklahoma passing records. There's a 3-step drop there. He wanted to get the ball out on a quick release, but nothing was there. He didn't force the ball in a passing play, and he had the presence of mind to turn the ball upfield and get a first down. A real smart play by the young sophomore quarterback.
Oklahoma at their own 31. Play action, Gundy to throw again. Runs right back into the arms of Brian Diet and Joel Steve. Gundy did pick up a couple, however.
Gundy tried to run the same play that they ran to Ted Long for the big play in the first quarter. Off the play action, Ted Long, you won't be able to see it, does a little hesitation downfield. But this time the secondary for Colorado was wise to the play. And Gundy once again just pulls the ball down and gets what he can. He's not forcing the ball. That's very important for him.
Second down and 8. Ernest Williams. And Johnson closed quickly. Ted Johnson filled that hole along with Greg Beatritt in one quick hurry. It looked like Ernest Williams had running room, but they slammed the door on him.
I think that's one of the reasons why Colorado wanted to get Ted Johnson in there to start only as a freshman, but he really did close that hole. I thought we were going to see a big gain off the offensive right side by Ernest Williams, but Ted Johnson just ran over and ran the play down.
Junior cornerback Deon Figures being attended to on the Colorado sideline. Third down and 4, and preliminary movement. And was Oklahoma able to draw Colorado offsides, or did somebody on the Oklahoma line move? Gundy says it's against Colorado, and that would mean a first down.
Dead ball, offsides, defense.
Let's go down to Dean Blevins for an update.
Guys, the story from the Oklahoma sideline is that Mike Gaddis' knee is stung. It's not the one that he injured in the Texas game you were referring to. Gaddis says he will return. That's important because Oklahoma's starting tailback, Duell Brewer, is out for apparently the season with a bad knee. Ernest Brewer, the only Sooner left, so we'll see if Gaddis returns.
Thank you, Dean. Oklahoma needs him. Ernest Williams trying to pick his way. gets virtually nothing, maybe a half a yard is all. Chad Brown leading the Colorado charge.
Chad Brown played last year at inside linebacker, and this year, because of the loss of some outstanding outside linebackers by Colorado, the head coaching staff for Bill McCartney asked Chad Brown to move outside. He really didn't want to, and then he said, well, if I'm inside and they're going to run outside, what's the sense of being inside? So he said, okay, coach, I'll move outside for you. And he leads the team with 5.5 sacks.
Now Rashid moving in the Oklahoma backfield, and flags fly. Kenyon Rashid, the fullback, breaking too soon.
Dead ball. Illegal procedure. Offense. Repeat second down.
Well, the penalties continue now. We've had one on each team here in the second half.
Boy, oh boy. And they're all off this offside illegal motion variety. I don't really understand what's happening. I think everybody's trying to get a jump on the snap count. But I've never recalled seeing a game where I've seen so much movement on the offensive line or defensive line or in the backfield.
Well, if you see it, a lot of times it's real early in the season. We're in the middle of the season here. Williams can't hold on. Gundy's pass intended for Ernest Williams. Incomplete. The Sooners will be looking now at 3rd and 15. We've had a total of 9 penalties in the game, 5 against Colorado, 4 against Oklahoma, and a total of 70 yards in penalties.
And I think other than the clip on Darian Hagan's punt return, every one has been offsides or movement or whatever else along those lines.
Oklahoma at their own 38, 3rd and 15. Gundy dropping straight back. Incomplete. No flag on the play. Corey Warren, the intended receiver, and Greg Thomas, the free safety, came right over his back to get the ball.
Corey Warren wanted a penalty on that play. Cale Gundy was able to buy some extra time in the pocket to throw the ball to him.
And look at Colorado's defense on 3rd and long. They have not allowed a 3rd and long conversion, 9 or more yards, in 34 chances this year. Riddell's punt and a fair catch called by Hagan. He drops the ball. Oklahoma has it. Sophomore linebacker Mike Coates recovering the fumble. And the Sooners will have it inside the Colorado 30.
Well, that wind has to be playing tricks on the ball. Darian Hagan very sure-handed. That was the same part of the field in the same direction where Otis Taylor fumbled the kickoff earlier. So the fact that the ball is going into the wind might be causing a sort of knuckleball effect or whatever else. But clearly everybody's having problems catching the ball.
That's the 3rd fumbled punt we've seen.
And now the turnovers have evened out.
There was also a fumbled kickoff. Mike McKinley, nowhere to go, and guess who? Freshman linebacker Ted Johnson hit him virtually as he took the handoff from Gundy. He lost about a half a yard. Johnson's having a heck of a game.
Well, Oklahoma really wants to capitalize on this opportunity. And, you know, a lot of times you'll see teams play action pass or go for a big play after a turnover. Maybe we'll see this from Oklahoma right here. Certainly worth taking a shot at it.
2nd down, 11. McKinley. They can't move that pile. And the Oklahoma fans don't like it. Chad Brown, Greg Beekert, and Eric Hamilton are all up there. McKinley going nowhere. He did gain 2 or 3. It'll be 3rd down and about 8.
Now Oklahoma is faced with a 3rd and long situation, and we just talked about how effective Colorado is in that 3rd and 8, 9, 10 plus.
Today, Oklahoma 0 for 4 in these situations. Gundy under pressure. He's sacked. Back at the 35 by Ron Woolfork.
Gundy dropped for a loss back near the 35-yard line.
Well, that knocks Oklahoma out of field goal range as well. Ron Woolfolk, you'll see him on the left side of your screen. He comes through. The left guard is supposed to pick him up. He's not able to get out there. Cale Gundy has no chance really to get outside into the perimeter and throw the ball downfield. Woolfolk really made a nice play there. Just beat the offensive guard to get the sack.
So Brant Riddell will have to come on and punt it into the wind. Hagan calling for the fair catch, but he's just trying to prevent them from downing it. Oklahoma down to the 1-yard line. John Anderson, number 39, catching the ball on the fly. And we'll be back.
It was designed to run like a watch. Just strap it on. You could call one company to take your package to an address across town. And you could find somebody to take your package to any address cross-country. Then you could call a third outfit that could take your package overseas. And yet another that could take your package overnight. But there's only one company you could call if you only wanted to make one call.
The world's first dynamo was invented by Werner Siemens in 1866. It began the revolution that brought electricity to everyone. That was then. This is now. The generation, distribution, and control of energy are at the heart of Siemens today, where you work, live, and play. And with 35,000 people at work nationwide, Siemens is leading the way into the next century. Siemens, precision thinking.
Last year, they won their conference crown. This year, that's not enough. The Buffalo Bills battle Boomer Esiason and the Bengals on ABC's Monday Night Football.
For the second time today, Colorado will start from their own 1-yard line. The last time they did it, they went 99 yards to score. Helped out by a 65-yard pass play and a big 15-yard penalty. The 4. Stacy Dillard on the stop. In case you're wondering about the ball being caught on the run by John Anderson and then he went into the end zone, there is no momentum rule in college football. It's where you down the ball by taking possession of it.
That's right. And John Anderson made a heads-up play. Once the receiver, that was Darian Hagan, shows that he isn't interested in catching the punt, the kicking team has every opportunity in the world to go down and catch the pass or catch the punt themselves. And that's what John Anderson did there.
Second down. Hagan on the option. Keeping. But Reggie Barnes runs him down before he can get to the 10-yard line. I'll tell you what, with Bowden and Barnes, the play of those linebackers for Oklahoma, Colorado moved the ball extremely well considering. Here's the punt again. A 34-yarder.
Just a little pooch punt. Trying to get the ball inside the 20, and that's exactly what Oklahoma does. You're allowed to catch the punt 2 hands or 2 feet inside the 1-yard line, and momentum does not factor into where the ball is placed. It's not like pro football or college football, and that's why Colorado wound up with the ball on the 1-yard line.
Good play by John Anderson to be down there and catch it. Hagan coming this way. Cutting it up, has the first down. Tackled by the strong safety free safety Terry Ray. Well, not before he gets out to about the 19. So 3 plays and Hagan and company have it. A gain of 11.
I'll tell you what, if Michael Westbrook can get a little better block on Terry Ray, I think Darian Hagan was off to the races on this play. Watch on the right side of your screen, you'll see number 81 try and get number 19 Terry Ray on the block. He only gets a piece of him, and Ray is able to make the tackle.
Colorado 1st and 10 at their own 19. The fullback, Scott Phillips, nowhere to go. Stacy Dillard. And got a little help from his friends as well. Well, next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern Time, 2:30 Central, and 12:30 Pacific, ABC Sports will bring you another lineup of regional college football coverage. Michigan State battling Ohio State. Or some of you will see UCLA and Arizona State. Mississippi State at Auburn, North Carolina State at Clemson, or one of the following games, either UTEP at Air Force or San Diego State at Utah. Be sure to check your local listings in your area. Hagan to throw, and he completes it to Phillips. Banging close to the first down. He gets out of bounds at about the 29. Darnell Walker knocked him out.
43, Scott Phillips.
Scott Phillips, number 43, the fullback. He's going to fake a little counter action. Get the ball back over to Phillips again, and Phillips is really impressing me, stepping in as a starter today, catching the pass. He had a big catch right at the end of the first half. He scored a touchdown. He's catching the ball in the flat there. They're going to measure to see if there's a first down after the catch by Scott Phillips.
So they bring the chains all the way across the field, measure and see if it is enough for a first down, and it is.
Boy, to step in a big game like this and just do the kind of job Scott Phillips has done at fullback really gives a boost to the Colorado offense.
Here's a guy, a sophomore, although he's 6'2" and 220, he's hardly played at all. He had one carry. Of course, it was a 6-yard run, so it's a pretty good average. But he's just come in here and done it all.
He's a great athlete. He lettered in 4 sports in high school.
Another Colorado first down. Lamont Warren breaks through. And he has a first down across the 40 before he's dragged down by Jason Belser and Terry Ray. Colorado last week went up and down the field against Missouri. They're almost doing that here.
Their All-American center, number 52, makes a good block on the nose tackle, and that's what springs Lamont Warren. Number 52, Jay Lewinberg, played with a broken hand a couple of weeks ago. His right hand was broken against Stanford, so he decided to just snap the ball with his left hand, and that was after the advice of Darian Hagan, who's ambidextrous. He said, hey, just use your other hand.
Sure, it's easy for you. It appears as if Terry Ray, who was in on the tackle for Oklahoma, is shaken up on the play and being administered to by the Oklahoma training staff. Lamont Warren now has carried 12 times for 45 yards.
Number 19, Terry Ray is the center.
This is an Oklahoma defense, John, that came into this game second in the nation. First in the Big 8 in rushing defense, giving up just a little over 60 yards a game, and Colorado's running all over him.
On the lower right-hand side, that's Terry Ray making the tackle. Looks like he ducked his head a little bit, and I think he's a little woozy walking off the field. When those running backs like Lamont Warren get a head of steam going as a free safety, Terry Ray's a very sure tackle in the open field. He threw his body in there and was able to make the stop, and he paid the price.
Colorado first down at their own 42. Lamont Warren again, and again a big hole. Warren into Oklahoma territory, still going. Down to the 30. Charles Franks makes the touchdown saving tackle. A 28-yard run.
Lamont Warren having an outstanding day. He had 110 yards last week against Missouri. The one thing he felt he has to improve on in college football is to run out of tackles with more power. He did it on that play. And, you know, for a freshman, he just seems to have terrific poise running the football.
He
reads the hole. He's patient. He makes the right cuts.
And he's a true freshman. He has not been redshirted. Now, Colorado with a first down at the Oklahoma 30. Lamont Warren again. And this time, Proctor Lamb, the right side defensive tackle, grabs him as he goes through the hole. But again, there was a pretty good hole there.
A little better backside pursuit, though, from Oklahoma's defense. It seems to me every time Lamont Warren's breaking out, he's starting to the right and cutting back left, or starting left and cutting back right. And that's because the Oklahoma defense isn't staying in their pursuit lanes. They're over-pursuing. It's allowing that cutback opportunity for Lamont Warren, and he's taking advantage of it.
10th play of the drive for Colorado. All have been on the ground. Second down, 7. Hagan taking it himself. Down near the 20. He's near a first down. Drew Christman and Jason Belser bring him down.
Sometimes Hagan will take the ball himself and run it outside the left defensive tackle. This time he just follows right up behind the fullback, and he has the athletic ability to hurdle whatever the mess is in front of him and get upfield. That was the kind of play he fumbled on, though, earlier in the game.
He gained 6 that time. It's 3rd down and 1. Colorado 5 of 8 on 3rd down conversions, and they have another one. And as they move the pile, Proctor Land down on the bottom of the pile along with Ricky Wren, the nose guard. But it's another Colorado 1st down. Remember, this drive started at the Colorado 1-yard line. If they were to take it in, it'd be the second 99-yard drive of the day for the Buffalo. And they have not thrown a pass in this drive.
And that will really deflate this Oklahoma team. Colorado's able to do that not once but twice today.
Lamont Warren skipping outside. Charles Franks grabbing on and finally getting some help from Jason Belser. And Lamont Warren down near the 10. Colorado's doing some blocking up front, too. They are keeping some lanes open.
Oklahoma's just over pursuing. Lamont Warren's taking advantage of it. He starts off over the right guard and cuts it all the way around to the left side. And I'll tell you what, he has improved his strength as a running back. He really makes the first person pay the price when he runs downfield. He was almost able to run out of that tackle right there.
2nd down and 3 after the gain of 7. On the option, Hagan. Keeping. And getting down near the 5. He picks up another 1st down. Jason Belser chased him all the way. That little help from Wilson. But it's going to be 1st and goal, Colorado.
Hagan followed the fullback before. This time he's going to break it outside. You know, he gets the ball outside, and he still can pitch the football. He likes to keep that pitch relationship with his back. In that time, he just ran upfield, made the 1st down because he knew where that 1st down marker was. And that's what makes Hagan so good. He's so experienced at running this option.
Lamont Warren running out of the grasp of one tackler and getting down to near the 2-yard line. Joe Bowden and Reggie Warren got him, but he stepped right away from, I think it was Proctor Land, almost had him. And Warren now has picked up 85 yards. We have 3:56 to go in the 3rd quarter. Colorado leading 27-17, and they are threatening to score again. They have pounded the ball on the ground, starting at their own 1-yard line. It's 2nd and goal from the 3. Lamont Warren, and he appears to be over. He has touchdown. Colorado has just taken it to this very highly regarded Oklahoma Sooner defense, and they're beating them at their own game, running the football.
No cutback this time for Lamont Warren. He's just going to run a straight drive play. Drive blocking up front. Good lead block by the fullback, number 43, Scott Phillips. He takes it right over his right guard at center. Makes the touchdown.
Jim Harper converts the extra point for Colorado. 3:39 to go in the 3rd. Colorado 34-17. Otis Wilson returning the opening kickoff for the Sooners. Spencer Coulter making the stop on the special teams as Taylor gets it out near the 20.
Well, I'll tell you, Oklahoma really has to overcome the emotional letdown. Darian Hagan fumbled the punt. They didn't get any points out of it. They had a great punt themselves and downed it on the 1-yard line. And Colorado drives the ball, 14 plays, 99 yards, all running plays.
Colorado's second 99-yard scoring drive of the day. Gundy to pass under pressure. And he has to run out of bounds, and he gets a little help as well from Brian Diet. Let's get an update from New York and Roger Twibel.
Thank you, Steve. In the Southeastern Conference, Georgia at Vanderbilt, 1:37 left. Vandy up 27-25, and Cannon Parkman misses a 43-yard field goal that would have given Georgia the win. He also missed from 48 yards on the play before. A Vandy penalty gave them another chance, and Vanderbilt knocked on the door against LSU and Auburn. They finally come up with the win against Georgia. Let's go back to Steve.
Thank you, Roger. Look at those yards rushing for Vandy today against Georgia.
Well, Florida's in the driver's seat now in the SEC.
Gundy's pass incomplete. It was intended for Tink Collins. Dion Figures with the coverage. So it'll be 3rd down and 13, and the Sooners are really struggling to get something going offensively, and if they don't soon, it'll be way too little too late as they're down by 17 points near the end of the 3rd quarter.
This is not the kind of situation that Oklahoma is comfortable in offensively. They don't throw the ball. They're throwing the ball more, but they don't throw the ball consistently enough, and they don't have enough confidence in the passing game to throw the ball play after play.
Gundy to throw again. He has time, but finding somebody open is the problem, and he throws it to no one. Corey Warren was the closest receiver. He also had Joey Mickey, the tight end, out there, but he threw it between them. And Gundy has now completed just 5 of 12 on the day, and in the second half here he's 0 for 4.
Well, you want to throw the ball in the void in the zone there, but you want to make sure that one of your receivers is in that void in the zone.
There's the Big 8 action from today. So Brad Riddell, who's been busy punting for Oklahoma, kicks it away again. Darian Hagan watches it bounce at midfield. He'll leave it alone, and it'll be downed near the Colorado 45 by Tony Levy. A 38-yard punt. Colorado will again enjoy excellent field position. 3:07 to go in the 3rd, and the Buffaloes in control. Well, they may be looking at their 4th loss the week after losing to Texas.
And 2 of those 3 losses have come in the last 2 years.
Gary Gibbs in his 3rd year will be even more embattled if the Sooners cannot pull this one out. Colorado 1st and 10 at their own 46. Scott Phillips, the fullback, gained at best a half a yard. Kyle Hill and Greg Wilkins making a stop for Oklahoma. The Sooners have some of their second-line defensive people in the game, and Buffaloes have had some sweet music today. They have been doing it all correctly. And that guy right there is the maestro. He has orchestrated 2 99-yard scoring drives and a couple of others as well. Delay, Lamont Warren, and too much penetration. Oklahoma all over the Colorado backfield. Stacy Dillard leading the charge, and Warren nowhere to go. The loss will be back to around the 43.
Oklahoma's getting some fresh troops on that defensive line after all the drives that Colorado has had today. I'm sure that a lot of their defensive players are tired. They've been on the field a long time for a lot of plays. It's a good idea to get some fresh players in there.
3rd down and 13. Lamont Warren snuffed again. Dillard and Greg Wilkins with the penetration. And the Oklahoma defense finally rising to the occasion. Will it be too little too late? It is 4th down and about 20 yards to go as the punting unit comes on.
Well, that's the kind of defensive series that can help ignite this Oklahoma team. They've been sleepwalking through the 3rd quarter so far and really haven't done anything. Maybe this will help ignite the offense.
Mitch Berger on to punt. Otis Taylor back to receive for Oklahoma, calling for a fair catch. He takes it at the 29. So the Sooners will have another chance with 1:09 to go in the 3rd quarter, a 35-yard punt. And let's go down and get an update from Dean Blevins.
Guys, if you'll notice, the center, Jay Leuenberg, number 52, an outstanding player, maybe the best in the country at his position. He has dominated Oklahoma's nose guard position. They've had the injury to Mayfield when he's out. Interesting story with him. He has a splint on his right hand. Hagan, who's ambidextrous, as John mentioned, encouraged him to snap left-handed, which he did one game. He's also a diabetic and shoots himself up before every game. Says it's not hard to remember. If you don't shoot yourself up, you might die.
Mike Gaddis with a big first down run out near the 45. Greg Thomas, the free safety, ran him out of bounds. They have to check Leuenberg's blood sugar during the game, too.
Oklahoma taking a page out of the Colorado playbook, just getting the ball deep. Mike Gaddis, he starts right and cuts left again. And there's a little over pursuit on the side of Colorado defensively here, which allowed that kind of cutback. Mike Gaddis looks like he's back from that little injury he had to his right knee earlier in the game.
1st and 10, Oklahoma, near their own 47. Gundy on the option pass, incomplete and almost intercepted. It was intended for the tight end Ricky Brady, and Greg Thomas was again there to break it up.
That really hurts Oklahoma. They've tried to get the pass play thrown off the option several times today. Cale Gundy was sacked once. He threw a pass that was knocked down by the cornerback, and this time he really had a play open to Brady, but he wasn't able to get the ball and complete it. And that really hurts their offense, because if they're able to do that, they're able to establish so much more in the running game as well.
2nd down and 10. Gaddis with a huge hole. Gaddis inside the 30. They finally hem him and run him out of bounds. Chris Hudson bumping him out, but Mike Gaddis had a huge hole and took advantage in a big way, and the Sooners are threatening to score.
The offensive line doing an outstanding job up front. It's a little inside trap play. Paul Moriarty, number 64, pulled and trapped. Mike Gaddis cut it back. Doesn't have the speed that he'd like to have probably after the knee surgery, but certainly was able to get far enough downfield and get deep into Colorado territory.
It's a 40-yard gain to the 13 of Colorado, 1st and 10. McKinley, the fullback, down to about the 11 for a gain of 2. Marcellus Elder making the stop for Colorado.
Watch the left guard, number 64, pull and trap. Oklahoma runs a very good trapping offense. They have an experienced offensive line. Michael Gaddis takes it down the left sideline. Read the trap blocking well, which always isn't an easy thing to do. And Paul Moriarty, trapped and really didn't have anybody trapped there for a moment, and finally he did. But those trap plays, when they work, really can open up the hole for the running game.
That was a typical well-trapped hole. It was very wide. 2nd down. Gundy under pressure. Throws back to nobody. Gaddis was over here. He was covered by Chad Brown, but the pass was well behind him.
There's nothing worse than seeing an offensive unit after a play look at one another. Everybody's looking at one another, trying to figure out what was supposed to happen and what did happen and everything else. I'm sure the play had wanted to take advantage of the pursuit of the Colorado defense. They're very quick defensively, but it certainly didn't work out. And Gundy threw the ball in the left flat, and everybody was looking at one another for Oklahoma.
This should be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Gundy now 0 for 6 in this half. Flipping in the end zone, incomplete. Corey Warren could not come up with it. Ronnie Bradford with outstanding coverage for Colorado. And Warren made a fine effort, but he could not hold on.
Corey Warren had Ronnie Bradford, number 13, beat initially. Bradford recovered. The ball hung in the air. You see Warren coming back for the football. Had Gundy either gotten rid of it sooner or led Corey Warren downfield a little bit more into the end zone, we might have a touchdown for Oklahoma.
On 4th down, Scott Blanton will try the field goal. It's from the 18. A 28-yard attempt is no good. And Scott Blanton, who has made one today, as his problems continue. Time runs out in the 3rd quarter. The Oklahoma fans unhappy that the field goal was even attempted in the first place. We'll be back after this word and a message from our ABC stations.
A driver's side airbag is now standard on every new Accord, Civic, and Prelude. But remember, it's most effective when you wear your seatbelt.
Professional service, a friendly face. That's your Big A Pro.
Big A, the sign that keeps your car running right.
The energy to go further. We share that energy at Texaco, creating products like System 3 gasoline and Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. Performance that goes as far as it can and then goes even further.
With the highest resale value in its class and proven Honda reliability, the Accord is a safe place to put your money.
In just one day,
Good, good.
Dynasty rises again.
You're the most exciting man I've ever had.
Dynasty, the reunion tomorrow.
Giant Recreation World, Central Florida's #1 RV dealer, announces their 16th annual introductory celebration Super RV Fire Sale to bring in the 92 RVs from Coachman, Cross Country, and Pathfinder, going on right now at Highway 50 West, Willie Garden, and 520 and I-95 Cocoa. Everything is on sale from 10 campers to luxury pusher diesels, free chili dogs, free National Campground membership, and more. This weekend, we won't be undersold. Don't miss this sale at Giant Recreation World, Highway 50 West, Willie Garden, and 520 and I-95 Cocoa.
Hi, I'm Steve Spurrier, coach of the Florida Gators. I'm excited about working with Chevrolet and Geo. For 1992, they have as many models as we have plays in our playbook. Cars and trucks to meet your every driving need. When the call is for value at a good price, it's the heartbeat of America. You'll be way ahead of the game, and that's what winning is all about. See your local Florida Chevrolet Geo dealer this week. Value? Count on it, and a good price.
Watch Wheel of Fortune tonight at 7:30 on Channel 9.
I tell you, it's going to be a success. So sure. It's going to be the next millionaire. We'll see. Hey, Teresa.
Is to let go the idea that there is only one solution.
Using your mind. The feeling is like winning the game, success.
We want to develop a lifelong love affair with education.
At the University of Oklahoma, we're cultivating the skills of discovery and innovation.
And we're having fun, too.
Head coach Bill McCartney of Colorado told me last night that if he could win here today, it would bridge the gap between last year's national championship team and the future for the Colorado team. The future could be now for the Colorado Buffaloes.
Well, they're making their claim, that's for sure. First down, Kent Call in the game and tailback on 1st and 10 from the 20, and he gets 1 or 2 is all. Greg Wilkins, number 90, brings him down. Greg Wilkins into the game has played very well. He's a 280-pound freshman. On the other side of the field, it's a far different story for Oklahoma's head coach Gary Gibbs. His problems are only going to get worse unless they can, by some minor miracle, pull this game out.
Well, the loss to Texas really hurt, but everybody pointed to the Big 8 schedule, and this game against Colorado is the game that could change all that and get the bad taste out of their mouths. But a loss here today would really, really set his program back. He has a lot of seniors on his football team, and in the next couple of years, because of the probations and some of the sanctions and the loss of some scholarships to the Oklahoma program, Oklahoma, really doesn't have the young players coming up that they have in years past. So with the senior group this year, Gary Gibbs is really hoping for a good season and a return to the Orange Bowl.
Scott Blanton, the freshman kicker who has had so many problems, on the sideline after missing another one today. He's 1 for 2 today, but he missed 3 big ones against Texas last week. 2nd down and 8. Colorado at the 22. Taking the throw. Looking long and over the middle, incomplete. It was intended for number 86, Rico Smith, the wide receiver, and he was well covered.
86, Rico
kept
Smith,
away from the ball.
Terry Ray
It'll be 3rd down.
On the play.
Here's a look at the 3rd quarter statistics.
We would like to thank Southwest.
Well, the turnovers have evened out at 2 apiece, but Colorado, with that 99-yard drive, has upped its rushing yards to 161. And Oklahoma really has to get more passing yards with only 60 if they're going to get back in this ball game, and they're not comfortable throwing when they have to throw. That was pretty evident last week against Texas at the end of the game.
Gundy has yet to complete a pass here in the 2nd half. That was Colorado's first pass attempt of the 2nd half. And Hagan is hauled down. Michael Coates. The loss all the way back to the 14. And Colorado will punt it back to Oklahoma, and the Sooners should again get good field position.
Well, Colorado ran the ball last time they had it 3 times, and they had negative yards. This time they wanted to throw the ball a little bit and try and get a first down that way. But Michael Coates on the blitz, inside linebacker. He plays along with Joe Bowden and Chris Wilson, and he's a fine one.
Mitch Berger on to punt again. High snap, and he's in trouble. Now he tries to kick it, and it's caught by one of his own guys, Greg Lindsey. He kicked it right to Greg Lindsey, who got it to the 22. It's going to be Oklahoma's ball, and the officials are going to have to sort this one out.
Well, the high snap forces the punter to run to the right side. Mitch Berger now, it looked like he was thinking about throwing the ball, and then he punted the ball. Now, the ball is going to be downed right where the Colorado player caught it.
It's a punt pass. It's a new play. I liked it.
You know, it looked like there might have been a fake punt on there. I'm not sure, but it seemed to me like he pulled the ball up to throw downfield.
Well, the high snap sort of caused whatever was going to happen to be in trouble.
It threw everything off, whether it was a fake.
By the kicking team. Red's ball at the point of white reception. It's Red's ball.
Well, just as you said, John, Oklahoma gets it at the point where it was retouched by the kicking team, which is where
Red, first down.
Which is where Greg Lindsey caught it.
Well, you can't blame Greg Lindsey for trying to make something happen there. Maybe the officials would have blown the call, but
came right to him.
Came right to him. He caught it and ran with it. You don't know how. Maybe he didn't know how it got to him.
Well, Berger will be credited with a 7-yard punt. The ball at the 22. Can Oklahoma capitalize on a break? They have not been able to for the most part all afternoon. They trail 34-17. Gaddis banging forward and down to the 15.
Oklahoma is to scratch its way back into this game. It really is on the strength of its defense. The last 2 defensive series by Oklahoma have been outstanding. Colorado has been able to get absolutely no yards. Now because of the high snap from center, Mitch Berger really can't do anything with the punt, and they have the ball in scoring territory. It's absolutely essential that they score here. This is the bread and butter play for the Oklahoma offense. So they get the ball to Mike Gaddis deep in the I formation, and he gets positive yards upfield.
Gaddis now with 100. Second down, 3. 130 yards for Michael Gaddis. Gundy, and the pitch dropped by Gaddis. Still available, but now Colorado falls out of the 24. The Sooners' problems continue. Michael Gaddis could not control the pitch, and Colorado gets the ball back. Ronnie Bradford forcing the fumble, and Chris Hudson recovers for Colorado.
At least Oklahoma wanted to get 3 points out of this. Gundy had to pitch a little bit behind Gaddis. Gaddis can't control it. Ball bounces around a little bit. Colorado recovers it, and they dodged that bullet from the problem with the punt before. See, the pitch is just a little behind Gaddis, and he knows the number 13, Bradford, is closing on him to make the tackle. And Chris Hudson makes the recovery.
Kent Call, the ball carrier for Colorado, out to about the 25. A gain of a yard, maybe only a half yard. The 3rd turnover for Oklahoma. Colorado has committed 2. And now with 12 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the game, the Buffaloes have an opportunity to run some time off the clock and really nail this one shut. They lead 34-17.
Well, they haven't been able to do much offensively, but certainly Oklahoma missed a great opportunity to convert and get some points on the turnover.
Hagan on the option. Nowhere to run, and no gain on the play. They did well to get back to the line of scrimmage. Chris Wilson, one of the first to bring him down for the Sooners.
Number 31.
Here's what's happening now in the top 10 today. Washington and Cal are tied. The game's still going on. California, of course, 7th ranked. They're tied at 17 all. Tennessee, the only team in the top 10 to lose. Notre Dame, of course, will play tonight. Hagan running it all the way himself. Across the 30, short of the first down, as he's hauled down by Darnell Walker.
Number 3, Darian Hagan.
At about the 27, or about the 32.
I think Colorado is certainly content at this point to run 3 down. They don't convert a first down, they'll punt the football. I mean, basically, they feel Oklahoma has to show them that they can score the football before they'll do anything offensively. And Oklahoma hasn't been able to score offensively against Colorado, so I'm sure Colorado feels, let's see if they can drive the ball on us.
Number 17,
7-yarder by Mitch Berger after the high snap really hurt his average today. Otis Taylor back around his own 30 for Oklahoma, awaits the punt. And now flags fly, and Colorado may have taken too much time.
Delay game, offense.
So they move it back 5 yards. 10:29 remaining in the game. Colorado with a 17-point lead, and Oklahoma again should get good field position. Their problem has been capitalizing on the opportunity. They had the block on, but they couldn't get to him. Taylor sees it bounce and lets it roll inside the 10. It'll be down at the 10 by Colorado. Greg Biekert down there, number 19. So forget the good field position. A 58-yard punt. We'll be back.
It's about style. It's about power. It's about control, the security of standard anti-lock brakes. It's about $12,000. The all-new Grand Am Sports Sedan. Excitement with purpose.
Today, we need to make every drop of oil count. So at BP, we're using advanced drilling techniques. Building oil fields that are smaller, more efficient, more productive than ever. Because that's the kind of thinking it takes to deliver about 10% of America's domestic oil. And to make the most of every drop. BP, the energy to change.
This is a commercial for this clever little portable CD player from Magnavox, the inventors of CD technology. I'm sorry, actually, this is a commercial for the ingenious Magnavox 13-inch TV with a built-in VCR. I'm sorry, this is really a commercial for this brilliant 52-inch TV with 100-watt Dolby surround sound. I'm sorry, wrong again. This is supposed to be a commercial for this Magnavox 386 notebook computer. Hang on, we haven't finished! Oh, I'm sorry.
The ingenious products from Magnavox. They're smart, very smart.
Michigan State battles Ohio State. UCLA invades Arizona State. Plus other key conference matchups next Saturday on ABC's College Football.
Otis Taylor's inability to field that punt takes care of the opportunity Oklahoma might have had for good field position. Now they are 90 yards away here in the fourth quarter, trailing by 17. The delay. Ernest Williams. Close to a first down as he gets across the 19. Let's go to Roger Kleibel in New York.
Thank you, Steve. Washington at Cal in the closing moments of the third quarter. Lindsey Chapman, the backup to Russell White, gets the hole up the middle, and where's the safety? 68 yards. See ya. Touchdown. As they start the fourth at Berkeley, it's tied at 17. Steve.
Well, that's some kind of game, huh? Oklahoma on second down and short yardage. And it looks like Ernest Williams picked up enough for the first down as he got across the 20 before Ted Johnson, who's had a superior game for Colorado, knocked him out of bounds. Let's get an update from the field now once again. Dean.
Guys, we'll try to take a look at number 71, Jeff Ressler, a fine offensive guard for Oklahoma. An amazing story. He was born, and 7 days after being born, they had to cut off his left hand, amputate his left hand. And here we see Brian Bosworth. Boz says that he had received a very warm reception today.
Play action. Gundy looking long down the middle. Tink Collins can't get there as Gundy overthrows him. Collins had a couple of steps on the Colorado secondary, but the pass well overthrown. Wrestler is an interesting story, isn't he, John?
Look on the left side off the play action. Tink Collins really does beat the cornerback, Greg Thomas. The safety has to come over in coverage. If the ball's brought inbounds and a little bit better thrown, Tink Collins had a shot at it. But I was watching Tink Collins as he ran down the sideline, and he got his upper body turned a little bit, and that's going to slow you down as a wide receiver running downfield. He just has to learn to turn his head when he runs downfield to try and locate the pass.
Gundy struggling in the second half, finally completes one to Joey Mickey, his tight end. Greg Biekert on the stop for Colorado. But short gain on the play, maybe 5 or 6 at the most.
He was tackled by Greg.
And it'll be third down for the Sooners.
5 yards on the play.
Joey Mickey said he wants to run with the ball in the open field, but he's got Greg Biekert clamped on like that. He really had no opportunity to get his legs up and to drive downfield and try and make a first down.
Third down and 5. The time and incomplete. Again, it was Tink Collins, and Greg Biekert separated him from the football, or the Sooners would have had more than enough for the first down. And again, Oklahoma unable to come up with the key plays when they're needed.
Fourth down.
Greg Biekert just dislodged the ball from Tink Collins. Cale Gundy made a very nice throw there. Tink Collins was coming around the underneath coverage. There was one lane in the coverage where he was not open. He kept coming around to the middle of the field. That's where a receiver has to catch the ball and lock onto it. Greg Biekert made the tackle on the short pass play before, and here he hustles downfield and makes the play on the wide receiver.
And a timeout called by Oklahoma as they had confusion as to who was supposed to be in the game on the punt. Their problems just continue, and they trail by 17.
You and I spent a lot of time in the library, didn't we, in college?
What? Where was that? Fourth down, Oklahoma finally gets it squared away as they punt it away, and Darian Hagan sliding to the ground as he catches the ball at the 31 of Colorado. And here's Hagan, quarterback, returning punts. But, John, there is a reason behind it, is there not?
Well, Darian Hagan approached head coach Bill McCartney and said, I'd like to return punts this year. And McCartney thought it over, and he said, why? And he said, well, first of all, I think I could do a good job. Second of all, I think the pros will take a better look at me if I do return punts, and I'll be more marketable. McCartney said, well, after all he's done, after all the sacrifices he's made for our program, I couldn't say no.
Lamont Morin trying to find a hole. He can't. Slips and falls down. Let's go down to Dean Blevins.
Guys, to follow up on that Jeff Wrestler story, it's really an inspirational one. His left hand was amputated after he was 7 days old because of complications. He's a very independent young fella, and his father, a coach, would not let his teammates teach him how to. There you see him in the back. He wouldn't let the teammates help him tie his shoes or put on shoulder pads. And you can imagine how difficult it would be with one hand. I was visiting with one of the players the other night, and he said it just tears his heart out every time he sees Jeff struggle to do that. But he does it and gets it done, and he's quite an inspiration to this club.
Freshman offensive guard from Edmond, and he is inspirational to say the least. Hagan slipping and sliding for a yard or two. Joe Bowden brings him down.
Not having that hand really hasn't slowed Jeff Wrestler down. He plays golf, he played baseball in high school, and he does really well playing the offensive line.
Again, we remind you, Monday Night Football coming up here on ABC. It's the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals, 9 Eastern time. ABC's Monday Night Football right here. Monday night, 9 Eastern and 8 Central. Hagan firing behind the intended receiver, who was Scott Phillips, out of the backfield, but Phillips with a rather acrobatic grab for the reception. 7.5 minutes remaining in the game, and Washington now has taken the lead over California in the fourth quarter, 24-17.
That's the Pac-10 battle for the Rose Bowl.
On fourth down, Mitch Berger bangs it out of there, and Otis Taylor will take this one at about the 23. Trying to find some room, and hello, Chris Hudson, the first to hit him, and Taylor stopped right in his tracks. They'll mark it at about the 17. We'll be back with Colorado leading by 17. Oklahoma at their own 18. They are 82 yards away. They have 7 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in the game, and they trail. Corey Warren with the catch and a first down outside the 30, hit immediately by Deon Figures. And Oklahoma going to a little bit different offense, and that's exactly what they need, John, if they're going to come back.
Well, they're going to give Corey Warren that kind of pass. Here's Otis Taylor on the punt return before he let one drop. Here, a little bit of indecision on his part, and he really pays the price. He wants to go left. He wants to go right. Now he's saying, hey, where's all the blockers? I'm supposed to have a wall. They promised me a wall on this return.
Meanwhile, Gundy is hauled down by the sack of Ron Woolfolk. Gundy losing yardage all the way back to the 23.
Gundy met the same fate that Otis Taylor had on that punt return. Somebody with a formed tackle on him. Oklahoma desperately needs a touchdown. They'll have to resort to the onside kick, but right now it just doesn't look good for the Oklahoma Sooners.
That's the third sack of Gundy for a negative 23 yards. And Ernest Williams on the delay goes nowhere. And the Sooner fans, who have already been very, very unhappy with the offense of the Sooners and the play calling, are letting their displeasure be known. A lot of them have let their displeasure be known by leaving Memorial Stadium. And some are still in the process of doing that. They're not used to this here. And it's been a couple of tough years for the Sooners. They thought they might be coming back with their 4-0 start this season, but last week against Texas and now here against Colorado, reality has come home. Gundy with time, but nobody open. Eric Hamilton got a hand on him and sort of flipped him down near the 35. He didn't get out of bounds, so the clock still runs with 5:35 to play.
Well, this forces a 4th and long situation. Once again, if it's 3rd and 20, you're down by 17 points. I don't see where the play action fake is really going to affect anybody on the defense at all. I think that's one of the reasons why Gundy can't get the ball downfield, because the linebackers have already dropped very deep.
Would you also not want to run out of bounds and stop the clock, which he had an opportunity to do? 4th down, and Gundy flips it to Williams, and Williams out of bounds and should have the first down at the 45. John Knutson, the freshman linebacker, knocked him out of bounds. Good catch by Williams.
Ernest Williams, bottom of your screen, just flicks out. Nice catch by Williams over the shoulder. It really wasn't a great pass. I mean, you want to get the ball out in front of Williams in that situation. He makes the adjustment, is able to get the first down, and keeps this drive alive for Oklahoma.
Oklahoma converting on 4th down. Gundy to pass again. Looking long and over the middle, and Pink Collins intercepted. Picked off by Chris Hudson, and he's bringing it back. Hudson out of bounds at the Colorado 43. And that will probably do it for the Oklahoma Sooners with under 5 minutes to play.
Oklahoma ran a little slant in before. This time they want to run a slant and go to Corey Warren, but Deon Figures is right there, number 2 in coverage. And as a result, Chris Hudson comes over, number 47, and makes the interception.
Second interception for Colorado against Cale Gundy and the Sooners. Gundy has completed only 8 of 22 passes for just 89 yards. Colorado 1st and 10 at their own 43. They lead 34-17 with less than 5 minutes to go in the game. Lamont Warren slipping and sliding, covered by Michael Coates as he loses yardage back inside the 40. Coming up at the end of our game, the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report. Stay tuned. We'll have all the latest and the finals from around the country that have been completed. updates and highlights as well. A Thrifty Car Rental post-game report.
Gary Gibbs was shaking his head there. You know, one of the things he felt he could count on today from his Oklahoma defense was they were ranked number 2 in the country in defense against the rush, giving up 60 yards a game. Today, they've given up 164 yards, mostly in the first 3 quarters against Colorado.
They have played better here in the second half, but it's too little too late. Hagan breaking a tackle and getting out of bounds near midfield. Darian Hagan starting and stopping. Russell Allen finally ran him out of bounds. 4:05 to go in the game. It'll be 3rd down and about 4.
Darian Hagan is so quick, so explosive. That's why I really think there's a place for him in the NFL as sort of a Dave Meggett type running back, receiver out of the backfield, punt returner, kick returner. Did you see his acceleration there? He can stop and then start, and he's up to full speed after about 1 or 2 steps.
He's gained 61 yards rushing today. And then the fullback, Scott Phillips, banging straight ahead. He appears to be short of the first down, although it's very close. They may have a measurement. Greg Wilkins making the stop for the Sooners. Nope, it is enough for the first down. And he just gets it to the 46 of Oklahoma. Clock running with 3:52 left to play. Oklahoma had won their last 14 consecutive Big 8 opening games. It does not appear as if they're going to make it 15 in a row. Vermont Warren. Short yardage, a gain of 2 to the Oklahoma 44. Well, John, the papers here in Oklahoma and Oklahoma City, Norman, and I guess the entire state, Tulsa and others as well, full of letters to the editor about Oklahoma head coach Gary Gibbs.
They weren't very flattering, were they?
I don't want to see them this coming week. I'd have to think that the drums will be beating even more strongly.
Some of those letters will be so hot, I don't know if you can put them on paper this week.
Second down and 8. Warren again. So about the 41 is all.
Well, the expectation levels were high for Oklahoma this year. Gary Gibbs in his 3rd year with all the seniors that he had as a nucleus on his team. Certainly bigger and better things were expected of them. And when they got off to a good start this year and got a high ranking, they felt like they had a good team. But last week against Texas, they had a fumble that was returned for a touchdown. That was the margin of victory for Texas. And this week, they came out and played well in the first half, but really in the second half, much like last week, they haven't been able to do much offensively.
On the other hand, Colorado is making their presence felt. Hagan on 3rd down, no gain. Reggie Barnes and Chris Wilson run him down. The clock will continue to run. Colorado, after their big win, 55-7 against Missouri last week, and taking a claim on the Big 8 championship, and then this very convincing and dominating victory, they are really establishing themselves as they did last year, a national power. Timeout on the field. We'll be back in just a minute.
A little brains, a little luck, and a lot of late nights. A good family, a good spot, and some good advice. That's the way it's supposed to be. And USF&G standing behind me. That's the way it's supposed to be. And USF&G standing behind me.
Supercharged Pontiac SSEI. Comfort without compromise. Performance without penalty. Excitement without apology. Pontiac SSEI.
Mitch Berger on to punt for Colorado on 4th down and about 6. Otis Taylor back to receive about his own 10. He may not get a chance to return it, except that Berger will be punting into the wind. Nope, it's a fake, and Berger has a lot of field out there. And he gets to the 30 and picks up the first down, staying in bounds as well. Let's go down to Dean Blevins one more time. Dean.
Guys, that play even brings out more of the Boo Birds, but in fairness to Gary Gibbs, I must tell you that he certainly inherited a program short on talent by Oklahoma standards and tall on problems, including image, NCAA probation, and just problems overall. Gibbs needs to win, but he's done a lot with the program in terms of cleaning up that image, helping the kids do a good job in school. The fans demand both. They want to win and have a clean image. Sometimes that's hard to do.
Yeah, it's hard to turn both things around, too, at the same time, and it is a tough job for Gary Gibbs. It remains to be seen, of course, how patient Oklahoma and their fans will be allowing him to try to get the job done. Lamont Warren trying to run more time off the clock, picks up a yard or so. You saw that graphic earlier, perhaps, noting that this 17-point loss would tie Oklahoma's worst home defeat since 1980, when John Elway and Stanford beat them 31-14.
There's head coach Bill McCartney for Colorado. You know, when they lost to Stanford, he changed the way he practiced this year. The last 3 weeks, he had the first-team offense going against the first-team defense, and he felt ever since then his team's playing with a lot more intensity, a lot more competition in practice.
Vance Joseph into the game at quarterback for Darian Hagan, and Joseph, who runs almost as well as Hagan, runs more time off the clock. He's down to the 29. No gain hardly on the play. Corey Wilson and Mike Coates making the stop. 44 seconds remain.
You could see where that would help a college team, though. You know, usually the offense goes against a scout team and a redshirt freshman or whatever else, and they don't really give the look. But when you have your defensive and offensive units out there, the people that actually play on Saturdays, they're going to give a lot better look, and there's going to be a lot better practice. And I think that is one of the reasons why Colorado's turned things around this year with a nice win against Missouri and a win here today against Oklahoma.
And you saw the Big Eight standing. Lamont Warren going nowhere. Wilson meets him right in the hole. And time is going to be allowed to run out. The Colorado Buffaloes, a force to be reckoned with after co-national championship last year. They're off to a great start in the Big Eight. The Oklahoma Sooners have got more work to do.